In the cut, my demeanor seems to always give me up. We out west with it, back down, trying to flip a dollar. If you looking, then we got it, you just got up in a block. We out west with it, riding clean, wetter than the sea. On the scene with a full tank, blowing AC. We out west with it, I'm posted, let me know what y'all on. Cause if y'all get on something, then just hit my phone. We out west with it, yes sir, hustle for every penny in the trenches. But we turn struggle into strength. Yeah, home of the survivor, survival of the fittest in the town. It's wicked, you can J down. In a minute, what am? What's the business? The biz is how you down and get it. From Cape Town, the fifth city, the sounds of fifth's empty. When we tipsy, it's risky. Where the lick be, at least 10 deep, it tempts me. But there's no mystery where the chips be, the tips G. Just our history from the 60s. Pimpin' ain't easy, but we bleed it. This here game is in our veins, in the air we breathe in. Believe this, it's no game. But the key is your mouthpiece, spit your game. But believe, turn nothing into something. We suffer without supper long enough. Struggling from
day one.
Just wait and see. Someday, we'll make it. Someday.
Yes, sir, I like how that sound right there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of inspirational. It's like everybody got a goal. They're trying to reach or alive. They're trying to live, man. Be bumps in the road. You gotta keep pushing forward. You know what I'm saying? If it don't kill you, it make you strong. You know what I'm saying? My story right here. Yeah. It takes a special kind of mind to grind and work from the bottom and climb up the ladder of success in time. It doesn't matter what the test is, every step is another level till I step in as the next in line, no question. I'm considered one of the best, my whole life invested in, holding mics and sketching rhymes, you guessed it. I'm on mine, still restless, yes, even pressed up my records on my own dime. As many battles I blew breath in, and open mics I blessed. I'll never be labeled an overnight success, passing out CDs, doing shows for free, then dabbing to eat so that my soul could speak over these soulful beasts that's so cold to me. Like the breeze in the shower, we be posted deep. All the prices that I paid, the sacrifices I made, it'll all come to life one day, someday.
Wait and see. Someday, we'll make it. Someday, we'll wait and see. Someday,
Just be patient, man. Bumps and road ain't nothing. Rotate, doesn't stop. Check it out. Look, I remember it like yesterday, trying to get my record played at a radio station where they play hits for days. Having a conversation with this lady I'm facing while she making a statement made for me. She said, look, it's too many words in your hook. You need to work on your look. For what it's worth, I never took her words personal. But at first, I wasn't certain though if she knew my words are personal and not just verses and books until the curtain closes. This is my version of what I know, learning in first person till I blow. And still I know how it feels to know I'm the deal. Did you still feel like a deal is just right, or a deal just might still add to my appeal? But they won't know I'm real till I touch my first million, right? I'ma chill till my bars is felt and play my hand with the cards I'm dealt, and that's the plan till it's solved itself.
wait and see. Someday, we'll make it. Someday,
Yeah, everything you want in this world is yours. All you gotta do is claim it, man. Be patient, work hard, man. Don't make it. Don't trip on. Yo, it's damn near impossible to shop music without lots of loot to maneuver and make moves with. So I stay in tune with my pursuit. Fuck trying to recoup, I'm trying to juke and move units. The truth is, I'm used to excuses dudes give like you can. Do what I do, food and prove it. Walk in my shoes then. I'm used to goofy producers and cools that try to misuse you quick. Why you got it confused if you think it's about groupie?
Where we walk, yeah. Hey, where we walk. Hey, hey, when time presented itself, I'm standing 10 toes. I feel that pain until like rain hitting my window. Yeah. Tryna smoke one of them niggas like the endo. Cause that shit that left me scarred. It broke my heart. It took my kinfolk forever and walk, yeah, yeah. Forever and walk, yeah. Hey, forever and walk, yeah. I'm standing 10 toes, nigga, like Malcolm Grit the chop chopper looking out that window. Niggas quick to forget when it was just me, JV, and Snoop. It was one time we wasn't talking about it, we was spending niggas out the blue. We been beat up, throw the G's up, we want bloodshed, fuck a truce. For that snowman, pull a F in out the Gucci, man, we the truth, yeah. With my old gang with me, no lanes with me, you talking cap, nigga. Talking about lanes with me, we lay shit down, no stocking caps, nigga. Love my mom, yeah, yeah. Love my granny, love my aunt, and lost some brothers, yeah. Pop out, shit get ugly, yeah. We used to trap under that building, shit was all night. Running through that virtual shit was soft white, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got that shit on, we steppin', tryna wet shit, hope we find a way to get on. When times in itself, I'm standing 10 toes. I feel that pain until like rain hitting my window, yeah. Tryna smoke one of them niggas like the endo, cause that shit left me scarred, it broke my heart into my kinfolk. Forever and war, yeah, yeah. Forever and war, yeah. Hey, forever and war, yeah. I'm standing 10 toes, nigga, like Malcolm, grip the chopper, looking out that window. Niggas quick to forget how we was locked in. Clean shit, we kept mops in. Ain't no trying to kick it, you can get boxed in. Snake shit was at an all-time, had to cut the grass and I lost friends. Swear my heart went numb, I lost my mind when I lost Roxanne. But my whole gang with me, no lanes with me, all love a strap, nigga. Better not play with me, 2 hands on the blick, bet you get clapped, nigga. Love my partner, yeah, yeah, and I can't even sleep. I was in the streets on Jesus, head no Jesus, peace, yeah. Now my shit is scarred, streets people gon' clear the bar. Hey, for a nigga ain't tryna talk, tryna kill them all, nigga, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I got my blick on, we steppin', tryna check shit, hope we find a way to get home. When times in itself, I'm standing 10 toes. I feel that pain until like rain hitting my window, yeah. Tryna smoke one of them niggas like the endo, cause that shit left me scarred, it broke my heart into my kinfolk. Forever and war, yeah, yeah. Forever and war, yeah. Hey, forever and war, yeah. I'm standing 10 toes, nigga, like Malcolm, grip the chopper, looking out that window,
That's
nigga.
why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
Great evening to you wonderful people. Welcome to this Tuesday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Howard. We get together right here each and every weekday 3 to 6 p.m. and we discuss issues that are currently impacting the black community, how those issues impact us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. We will read through as many of your comments as possible while we go through the show. We would kindly request that you please take a quick second to share the broadcast. Share it on your personal page. Share it even within your personal network. Absolutely anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we welcome them to be a part of the discussion because we think that the more like-minded individuals we can get to be a part of it, the better the opportunity we have of reaching those aforementioned solutions. So please, if you will, take a quick second to share the broadcast. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two. What's happening, good brother?
The business family. I'm blessed and highly favored. How you?
Ain't nothing to it, man. I'm feeling pretty good on this here Tuesday. Happy to be back in the studio, hanging out with the folks. Happy to be chilling with the Is Wiz fam. Happy to be chilling with you, man.
Always, brother. I see you Cassie clean in this joint.
Man, you know, I just figured I would put on some clothes today. I was trying to make myself, feel good about myself. Really, that's it. Just felt like feeling a little good today. So I walked in the studio like, what's going on? Where you going? Just here. What's going on after this? Nothing. I'm gonna go back home.
I mean, got to show up for the job every now and
then.
Yeah,
every now and then. Just felt like putting on some clothes today. So nothing going on, but I do feel good. And I haven't been able to put this suit on in a while.
You know what I'm saying? Flexing your
Haven't been
30-day return.
Haven't been able to quite get in these pants in some time. So, I'm barely in them now, but ain't none of y'all been in this. Y'all can't see my pants. Nah, but I'm good, man. Even feeling good about hanging out with little bro. Ron Rilla, what is the word, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, big bros? How y'all feeling?
Ain't nothing to it, man. Another day. I'm very happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
How was LA?
LA was good. LA was good. Just chilled out mostly, for real. Went out there, little business, little pleasure. It was good.
Blessing. It was a blessing.
It was a blessing. It was very, very good. Shout out to LA. Couple things we want to get into today. The It's Wiz Book Club has made a decision about this month's book reading. We're going to get into that, talk about that, what that process is going to look like, how we're going to go about ordering the books and all of those things. And, obviously we'll be getting together on the third Thursday in March, which, I don't know, what's today's date? The 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So third Thursday would be the 18th, I believe. 4/11/18. Yeah,
you got me.
18th will be the third Thursday in March. So I think that's when it'll be. Again, I don't know. So we'll get that information from Shannon and make sure that's accurate. But I think that's going to be right. But either way, the book decision has been made. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the show. Also, going to have a topic that came. Ready Rock suggested that we talked about this piece, and I know you had read on it a couple of days before as well. And the good brother Howard Trout sent some info on this particular story. But the 19-year-old son of now former Nike exec, I think her name is like Ann Herbert or something like that. Mm-hmm. Her son got her fired pretty much, and really he should got himself indicted. But what he was doing was using her account, her executive account, to order boatloads of Nikes. And I'm talking about bolos. The pictures that I seen that Howard Trout sent that had him just posted up with all these pictures. This dude has a entire warehouse worth of Nikes that he ordered through his mom's executive account, and so he can resell them on the internet.
Which, from his vantage point, is brilliant.
Oh, it's a great business move, fam.
Yeah, it's a great business move.
Except you got caught because the caucasity of you said, let me put up the entire warehouse on social media and all that. You could have just sold them anonymously, my G, but, his
Also,
whiteness said, I don't need to do that.
The fraud of stealing his mother's credit card,
that part.
Account, you know what I mean?
That part.
Which is an illegal act,
Yeah, but, I'm white, fam.
Yeah, so it is what it is, but
I'm white. My mom's one of the top executives in the world, literally. You know what I'm saying? You're a top executive at Nike. You're one of the top executives in the world. I can do what I want. And he's not all that wrong. It's cost her our job, but, I'm sure she'll leave with some severance package and she'll be somebody else's exec in short order. Meanwhile, there's no talk about, what do you call it? When you got to, repair.
Recompense.
Huh?
Recompense, reconcile.
Restitution. Yeah, recompense, reconcile, reparations, pick a word, right? Yeah. There's no talk of that, right? So, and we're talking about millions of dollars.
Make a lot of bread.
Yeah, we talking about millions.
He's going to sell them joints.
What? You think he ain't when he is?
Yeah.
He's already been selling them.
Yeah, so he's going to make his mama's money back. If she goes anywhere, it's going to be a horizontal move.
Yeah.
She'll probably end up at Puma or Adidas. No, I'm serious.
No, I know you are. I know you are.
And that's just kind of how that works, right? And that's kind of how it works in all those top-tier organizations and corporations. When you're in the, organization like Nike, or even we can get away from Nike. Like I told somebody a long time ago, when you start thinking about Enron, for example, when George Bush was the president and you had Dick Cheney as the vice president. Mm-hmm. Vice president of the United States of America, also the CEO of Enron.
Yeah.
Like lightning don't strike twice in one place. Like it don't happen like that.
It don't pop off
unless
like that.
that's the strategy, unless that's the plan. You know what I mean? You don't become the CEO of Enron and the vice president of the United States of America.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean? Unless that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. That's got to be in the works.
Yeah, it's in the works. So it is what it is. And the same thing with Nike, man. The rich get richer. You know what I'm saying? There's no laws are for those beneath them. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
I'm above that.
I'm above that. You know what I mean? So I fully grasp it from the shorty standpoint, and I'm saying shorty, but he's not no shorty.
Oh, he's a grown man. He's 19 years old.
Yeah, so, had he been, in Chicago on the South Side.
If he was Devontae Davis.
Credit card information and came up with a genius, brilliant business idea to move like that, he'd be in prison.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. And they hit him with a Class A felony, because what is a felony? After $500? Or is it $5,000?
I don't know.
I think it's $500 that they can hit you with a felony. Once the theft or damage exceeds $500, they can hit you with a felony. He's into the millions of dollars, right? When you talk about the inventory that he stole, the product, but also the profits that he's going to make off of these shoes. Because once you get them on the black market, $200 become $400 sneakers, or $800 sneakers, or $1,200 sneakers, or $12,000 sneakers, like literally. So yeah, and having access to all of Nike's inventory and putting it on your mama's exec account, yeah, you talking about millions, fam. He stands to make a whole lot of dough, and because he's a young white man, he's gonna get away with it. That's just
it's a super come up, man.
Yeah, it's
Hands
just the
down,
nature of it.
Super come up. You know what I mean? So like I said, they're gonna make a lot of money. His mama's gonna get moved around horizontally.
yeah.
This story is not a big story now, so it will never be a big story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And ain't nothing.
Yeah, so he's gonna make a lot. He's gonna make a couple $1 million off that investment.
Easy.
Yeah,
Easy.
hands down.
So we're gonna talk about that a little later, in comparison to what it would look like on the other side. I know you just touched on that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Also, the governor of Texas, I think his name is Governor Abbott, has just announced that he is removing the mask mandate for the state of Texas. Do what you want, fam. I'm sick of the COVID shit. Y'all can take y'all mask off. Y'all mask off. Like that's what he on. Future soundtrack. Mask off. Fuck it. Mask off.
See, for me,
Two ain't ever heard that song.
I have heard it. I know Future's judge.
Travis Scott Jordan for 20 G's. Exactly, right? Like
I know Future's personal drug dealer, so yeah, I've heard the song before. He's a family member. But yeah, man, the mask off. The mask off mandate. Mask off mandate. Right?
Yeah, man.
So it's hard for me not to look at this as a pandemic, bro.
A pandemic.
Yeah.
Come on with it.
And
Not too much, because we're gonna get into it a little bit.
even as like a victim of COVID per se, right? I've had COVID, you know what I mean? But when you look at the numbers, like 99% of the people recover in certain demographics, in certain age brackets, and certain health demographics. And you got to look at the changing face of America and ask yourself, what's the next move? You know, the people that it affected mostly were people who were poor and underprivileged and already sickly or elderly or overweight. People that the society really has no use for in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And to believe that, I know I'm speaking, I know it's a global kind of move, but when you start looking at the numbers, man, and looking at how industry and economies work, we're moving toward this kind of, what's the Illuminati conversation? I know it's like the Illuminati is the skeptical conversation, but the one world government thing, I don't think that's all that far of a mythical idea. I don't think it's like a farce. I think it's a possibility, you know?
I think it's probably more likely than not. You know what I mean?
Eventually.
Yeah, you talk about, you know, organization on that type of level. Yeah, I think it's more likely than not. The more, you know, international economic interests begin to align and intertwine, yeah, it becomes a little bit more necessary to do those types of things. So I like I said, I would think it's more likely than not that some of that is in play.
Yeah, and I just think it's very interesting that as the government changes over, so does all of the issues around the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very interesting to think about.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. So we're gonna touch on that piece as well. Illinois, state of Illinois, all CPS students, all Chicago Public School students, and up to 1 million students across the state are going to receive, as early as today, these benefits will be mailed out. Going to receive $450 meal stipend, if you will, per student. All CPS students, regardless of economic status or even citizenship status.
Did they say all CPS students? I thought
All,
it was all
355,000 of them, all of them.
Really? Well,
Yep.
salute them.
Regardless of economic status or what. And if you have 2 children, you're gonna get 2. And so what they're getting is $450. $450 per student, and what that $450 comes from is, I think it was like $6.82 per day per student, going back into last year, leading up to December, right? So when the pandemic started in March, up to December of last year, the $450 come from that $6.82 per school day. for that. And then after they get this one that's coming out, then they're going to get another one that is going to cover them from January to March of this year. Then after that, they will there's going to be something for like March and April, and then after that, they'll start to receive them monthly from May through the end of the year.
So if it was $6.82, you said per day since the beginning. So then, if it's going to be from January to March, that should probably break down to like $2 and something and change.
Well, it's still gonna be the $6 or whatever. But so the next check, this check will be $4.50. The next one probably be like $2 something. You know what I mean?
I just think, I get it, but I just think it's interesting to break down what they think it costs to feed a child a day.
Well, I think they just kind of just go off what their records say. I mean, it ain't like they feeding these kids steaks. You get it at the bundle price to feed $355,000. I mean, 355,000 children. I'm sure school lunch don't cost them more than $6 a day, $7 a day, $6.82 or something, I think it was. Yeah, I'm sure they don't pay more than $6.82.
True, but the average human being is buying retail. They're buying wholesale. It's an industry that's stocking up for per high school in the city.
Oh,
of Chicago,
agreed. No,
right?
I feel you
the
on that
numbers
piece.
is just different, right?
It's-
So
it's-
I'm not knocking it out. Great, you gonna get some recompense to the kids who suffer through not having to eat, not being able to eat every day, and that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, salute. But at the same time, I just think it's very interesting when we start thinking about how much uber wealth is in this country and the idea of what the thought process is behind feeding a human being for one day. It's almost like, what planet do you live on, man, to feed somebody for a whole day for $6? McDonald's trips for a family of 4 is a $40 trip.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's just interesting to me.
And so and in full disclosure, it's they're trying to feed them lunch. And maybe the breakfast thing, I don't know, but I know they're trying to get them lunch, and on an individual basis, is $6 enough to feed a child lunch? Nah, probably not. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I salute it. I know people out here struggling and they need help. When you start thinking about the first COVID relief check that came to the city of Chicago specifically, it went to overtime for the police department. So, in that vein,
Right.
You touching the people, it's time.
Right. Right.
I think it's interesting how this all is planning out, man. I think that we on the road to what's the thing Andrew Yang was talking about doing his campaign run where he was talking about
like, I forgot the term, but they give everybody money. Like, what is it called? Where they just pay you to be alive and a citizen.
We on our way there. You know what I mean? Because you
forgot what it's called.
there's
Somebody
no
tell me
other
what it's called.
options. Yeah, I can't think of the actual terminology behind it.
Universal.
Universal. Yeah, it's universal.
Universal something. I was
Universal basic income.
Yeah.
So we're on our way to that because there's no opportunities beyond what's going to be happening in regards to like tech and technology. You're not going to be able to keep up. So there's not going to be any jobs left. So I think we open.
Even then, they were going to give you just enough to give it back to me. We ain't giving you enough to like take my spot. I'm going to give you just enough to give it back to me.
Yeah, you never level up to any level of power, I don't think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Sherry.
you'll survive, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? And I think that there's other conversations happening around
Appreciate
right now
you, BT.
about what survival looks like. Right? How you be able to survive. What do you be able to eat? It'll be like almost kind of like a communist kind of contract with the rest of the world. And that's when you go back into the idea of that one world government. I'm saying these are all possibilities.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're very far fetched either, right? So we'll see what that looks like. That sound you hear right now are like parents registering their students for Chicago public schools.
I was thinking about like, man,
Right?
my kid ain't in CBS. Neither of them. That sucks.
Hey, if you got 2 children, you get 2.
Yeah,
And so I think they're coming in. They're not coming in the form of checks. They're coming in cards. And the plan is actually called the PEBT plan, the pandemic, whatever EBT normally means. I've read it, but PEBT, right? And so it's a spinoff from the EBT card. This is the pandemic one, and it's gonna come on a card. And they're gonna send it to you monthly, and you can use it at grocery stores to buy food.
And then I think in the next month though, you can, because they're starting to implement going back to school. And the way the article read, at least from my understanding, was like once they start going back to school, they're gonna cut out that funding. It'll only be for the days that you're not in school.
Yeah, it depends, right? Because some of the kids are doing the part-time in school, part-time remote, and so you're gonna get they're gonna pay for you because the concept is to cover you for the meal you would get in school. So if you're in school, they're not gonna give it to you twice. You know what I mean? But the other sound you hear is families like, yeah, my kid is gonna do full-time remote because give me the whole 450. You know what I mean? And if I got 2 kids or 3 kids, Now I'm at what $13.50 a month if I got 3 kids. I'm at $13.50 a month, and extra food. You know, I won't say extra food, but in food costs for these kids.
If that's you can only spend it on food.
Yeah, you can only spend it on food. It's just like a EBT card.
Okay,
it's like the link
so
card.
that'll be the new lick. People be catching.
Oh yeah, you selling?
Catch me at the grocery store.
Right.
I
So
give
now,
for half.
just like people sell their link card, they finna sell these things too. But these are specifically for your children. I guess the link card is kind of specifically for your children too. But people gonna be definitely selling their kids lunch money for sure.
Hey man, it is what it is. You gotta survive how you survive.
Oh, I've supported the EBT market
All the time.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
Yeah.
I rock with all the hustles.
Yeah, you got it for $50. I mean, for 50 cents on the dollar, or you got it for like 70 cents on the dollar. We can roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna negotiate down to 50.
It depends on who it is.
They've gotten reckless over the last couple of years.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, well, if it's family, I might bless you.
If it's family, and I know you, I know you really need it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but the
But
random guy,
but if you just trying to turn your food stamps into weed money,
the random guy at the grocery store, you got to give me 50 as a wrap.
yeah,
I don't even want to talk to you. Run me the 50 as a wrap. You know what I'm saying? And they be reckless. They be trying to get you for like the 80%. Like,
80 cents on the dollar. Like,
yeah,
hell
nah,
no,
you
fam.
wildin',
You ain't
fam.
saving me nothing but
You-
tax at this
right,
point.
What you doing? It's a 50% deal.
Beat it,
Beat it.
bum.
Difference between 4.0 and 4.6.
Right.
Only 40 grand, cocksucker.
Cocksucker, beat it. So we're gonna get into that as well. Also, I watched the United States versus Billie Holiday last night.
Interesting, wasn't it?
To say the least, my brother. To say the least, there is a lot. There is a lot to unpack in that film, and so I kind of want to start the conversation there. Let's take a quick break. If I can give Ron like 30 seconds to queue up and do his job, because you know he's just in there twiddling his thumbs.
He thinks that's his job.
Well, yeah, he thinks so.
He's a thumb twiddler.
We're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we're going to hop into the United States versus Billie Holiday. I hope y'all have seen it. If y'all not, spoiler alerts are coming. We're definitely about to get into that film. And also later on, what's coming on tonight?
The Soul of America or The Soul of Black America is one I look it up by the time we come back.
We're going to talk about that later on as well a little bit, because we want everybody to be able to watch that tonight, because we want to have a conversation about that tomorrow. So a little bit of is homework. If y'all got an opportunity to watch that tonight, we'll have that conversation tomorrow. This is I Say What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is Tu. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information, or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Welcome to Inhale, Exhale, you guys. We're your health home girls, Dr. Tanks Lee and Danny Time. We are being joined today by a guest, Samantha Allen, who's going to work with us today about attachment styles.
Preoccupied, anxious, that's more so a child that comes from a background where the parent or the caregiver was kind of all over the place. You didn't know what you were going to get, so you were clinging to them when you did have their attention, because sometimes I might have it, other times I might not. Because that, it creates an anxiousness in the child, whereas when I get your attention, I want to hold on to it. I want to make sure. So I might cry when you leave, or I always want you around. I'm craving your attention. You know, mother-father relationship. The father passed away. Now the mother is over busy. She's working all the time. She doesn't have as much attention as she once had for the children. So now this created an anxious attachment style. Those adults grow up more, considered more clingy in relationships, always wanting attention or feeling like I need to make sure we're okay, fear abandonment, fear that we might be breaking up or you might be leaving me alone. So I might check in with you more often. I might call you more. I just need to be assured that everything is okay with our relationship. That anxiousness part is the anxiety of the relationship, of always thinking something, something might be going wrong. If I called you, you don't answer. Are you upset with me? What did I do? Let's figure this out. Let's work this out. You're always kind of on edge about where your relationship will go.
You get a piece of paper, write down the event, the thought, emotion, and then
Right.
logic. So in this case, say that your boyfriend didn't text you back. Okay, that's the event. What is your thought? Oh, well, he doesn't care. What's your emotion? I feel unworthy. What's the logic? Well, maybe he's asleep. So you gotta do that. That's addressing some of the symptoms. But overall, you want to engage self-love and self-discovery, right? And just kind of reprogramming your subconscious.
Man, couldn't give me a 60 pop. And blow my daddy never around. I was feeling down, mama addicted to rocks. People would tease me. Little frail nigga, they would bully me and try to beat me. Man, cause them dirty bitches from the outer beach used to like on me and try to eat me ill. Most of them bitches was runners. Remember I moved over east for a summer. Yeah, I met Lil Les, we was youngers and bro was in play, opened up with to get us some money. Told me a valuable lesson. Niggas only disrespect if you manage to let them. One of them big homies trying to teach and get us together, so I took that shit as a blessing. Whoa, in the hallway with a load, still in the clutch from the trap at the door. Yeah, tell them I got 2 for 1 on the blows. You won't get a knock at the door. Yeah, then the young niggas start playing with poles, put me in a whole different mode. Hopped off the porch, let it blow. Clapped a few niggas, this shit started turning me cold. Oh man, shit got all bad. Niggas took Z, we was all sad. Got on it there like a dog tag. Wasn't no work, we was robbing niggas in the drought. Can't let these bitches stress a nigga out. I ain't no goofy doing it for the clout. Stuck in the trenches trying to peel a scout. Whoa, I used to be in a hundreds with 10 get on Vernon. R.I.P. Dre, that's my bro. I used to be on 10-4 in the condos with airway before it was car rescue road. I'm on a whole different road. Always on go, I can't stop till my feet in the dough. No, I don't break, I don't bend, I don't motherfucking fold. Don't hang with no nigga that told. Yeah, difference between me and all of these rappers, I'm gangsta, I stick to the code. Most of these niggas ain't solid for niggas be hoes. That's why they be selling they soul. Yeah, Lil' just told me that I'm getting old. I told him I got a whole soul. Gotta have hard as a man, cause the streets to get coke, ain't gonna play, that's the life that I chose. Oh man, shit'll get all bad. Niggas 6 knew we was all sad. We hit their head like a ball cap. Wasn't no work, we was kicking doors in the drought. Can't let these bitches stress a nigga out. I ain't no goofy doing it for the clout. Stuck in the trenches trying to peel a scout. Whoa. Shit'll get all bad. Shit'll get all bad. Hey, shit'll get all bad. Shit'll get all bad.
And we are back, family. We are live from inside the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. This is I Said What I Said. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be here, hanging out with us on this glorious Tuesday afternoon. Hope you all are doing well. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in from wherever you are, whether you are here in the Chi like we are, or you are all the way over in the UK like Miss Deborah is. We appreciate y'all for tuning in today. Shout out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube as well. I watched the movie, man. The United States versus Billie Holiday. And first of all, shout out to, what's the sister's name? Aura Day. What's her name?
Who played Billie Holiday? I have no idea.
Somebody put it in the chat. What's that lady's name? Either way, she killed the role. Like, she killed it. Like, I think that's who Billie Holiday is now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, same thing I be saying like about Denzel. Like, that's who I think Billie Holiday is now. If I see her, I'd be like, Billie Holiday, hey. Like, she killed the role. Everything. The attitude, the demeanor. She was very nice looking. She is a singer by trade. Andra Day. Appreciate y'all. Peace to the guy, Gino, in the building. Peace to the guy.
She is weird fine. She was weird fine.
Yeah, it's that different.
Yeah, there's something to it, but she fine.
Yeah,
you know
yeah. Like if you was like, nah, she ugly as hell, I'd be like, I can see why you think that, but she's fine though.
But yeah, she weird fine. Like
yeah.
do a 360 with ugly and make it fine.
No, she definitely looked good, man, and she was there was a decent amount of nudity in the film as well. And in all of those scenes, she looked quite delectable.
She weird fine. I'll say that.
I don't disagree with you, man. Yeah.
Definitely weird fine.
Yeah, she did, G.
Right. A little tweak here and there, I was getting Rihanna vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think Rihanna's weird fine.
I think Rihanna is fine.
You think she's just fine?
Yeah, she fine.
Yeah, I think she got this like weird kind of exotic face thing, just fine. But yeah, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that lady's name? Is her name like Eartha Kitt?
The older lady?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm picturing the right person in my the person I have in my mind, I think her name's Eartha Kitt.
Mm-hmm.
She's weird fine.
Weird fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some weird finds out there.
Yeah, for sure. Anyhow, the movie was powerful. I struggle to say it was a good movie because it'd be like
depressing. Bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard for me to say like it was a good movie. I'll say it was well done. It was well done. It was a lot in it, man. A lot in it. If you don't know, they just went through the story of Billie Holiday, mostly her career, and specifically how the United States government was trying to attack her, ultimately end her career, and potentially even kill her, imprison her as well, to prevent her from spreading this message and singing this one particular song that was called Strange Fruit. Mm-hmm. And the movie kind of teased the song throughout the entirety of the film, and then at the end, you finally heard the song in its entirety, and geesh, was it powerful.
Yeah, it was interesting, man.
Yeah.
You say Guapole is weird fine too. I agree.
I don't know what she looked like, but
Guapole dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can respect it.
But
gotta have a weird fine draft one day.
we do. We do.
Weird fine draft.
Fine draft. but it was just depressing, bro. Like, outside of the involvement of the United States government into her music and her life because of her music, but just looking at the hardship and tragedy that we endure just being black in America, like, it's interesting to me that we think of these stories as past constructs. You know what I mean? And then there's this part in the movie where she kind of goes back through her past in which created the kind of person that she is.
Bless your heart, Catrice. That sounds wonderful.
Right? Born into a whole house. Mama at the age, I think it was like 6 or 7.
When she was 7, her mom was trying to get her to sell her box.
Out of here, man. You got to go sell some.
She told her, ain't no
box.
space here for you no
Ain't
more.
no space here for you no more.
So I want to work here. She said, no, you can't work here.
Yeah.
You're going to work at the brothel next door.
Yeah. Go keep a man happy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
She keep a man happy how? Her mother told her, rub him, touch him, fondle him, make him feel good.
Yeah. Because that's pretty much your value on this planet.
At 7?
At 7. But that's not an uncommon story. I know women in this city whose mama has put them out there on the stroll and by. Now, I ain't gonna get into the details.
Nah, for sure.
But I know this happens. I know people who this has take place.
No doubt.
This take place, and it ain't even just as simple as what women are going through. I know brothers that grew up in houses with, dope addicted parents, and how that played out in their lives, and it's just like, you just don't know these people's story, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. That definitely shorties they get forced on the block. Shorties that ain't even cut for the streets like that, but forced on the block anyway.
The Wire, when you think about the
exactly. Weekdays son, name it, yeah, exactly.
Go get this money. He wasn't built like that.
He wasn't built like that at all. But his mom was like, "You gonna get your ass out there." Period. But yeah, it was a very very sad upbringing for her, a sad existence, and it created one. It created this person to where, though she was immensely talented, right, and had so many fans and had all this love and adoration and admiration for her, she could not feel it.
She couldn't love herself.
She didn't love herself. She didn't see any worth in herself. Everybody else sees you as Billie Holiday, perhaps the greatest vocalist of your time, and everybody wants to be around you and see you perform and, love on you, important to you, and she could not receive it. The scene when she had sex with, they had sex a few times, but the scene when she had sex with the FBI agent, the black dude, with his client, he loved her, mm-hmm. right? And she was going off of him because he had just went outside to call his FBI boss, mm-hmm. right, to check in about what she was doing. And she's like, "You just called your boss?" He like, "Yeah." She's like, "You tell him everything about me, don't you?" Because that was what his job was. Mm-hmm. And he said whatever he said, and she going off. She's like, "Oh, you clown ass sucking," and all the while,
get naked.
She get naked,
mm-hmm.
butt ass naked, bends over on the bed and called it. I forgot what his name was. She said, "Come on over here and whatever. Come on over here and get it or whatever." Right? while she's mad at him, right? So he's the energy in the room right there is tense and they're angry, and so he hops in it in this angry way where he's kind of just he's stroking with this intensity of what I'm saying.
It's disconnected.
Yeah, disconnected. However, at some point in that process, he remembered, like, the love kicked back in for him. Like, I love her. I'm tired of fucking her. I would really like to make love to her. And he said, no, not like this. Not this time. She said, what you mean not like this? And he said, he turned her around, like face to face. He's like this. Wanted to kiss her gently, and she was like taken aback by it. Mm-hmm. Never had made love in her life. She had only been fucked.
That's for TV too. So I don't know if there's ever, but here it's
as
a
the
meme.
movie went.
It's a meme that goes around now.
Mm-hmm.
It says because of the disconnectedness that we have amongst our own group, amongst black men and black women now, they say that the meme says, and I always thought this was interesting. It said black men don't have they don't make love to women. They use their bodies like human masturbation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But if you look at that movie in reference, she was doing the same exact thing to the brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that is about the complications within loving yourself, coming to terms with who you are too.
I think for her it might have been even deeper than that. I don't even think she was using this for masturbation. I don't even think she was there
to feel anything.
I don't even, you know what I'm saying? I don't even think she was like I don't even think it was about sex to her, like even about like trying to feel good for herself. I just think that is what she thought was supposed to happen. From 7 years old, that's what she's known is supposed to take place. So whether you talk
going back to the African proverb,
mm-hmm.
right? The child is not embraced by the village will burn it down
just to feel its warmth. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's to feel anything.
Yeah.
Like this journey is about love. G, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
So if I'm not accustomed to that or I don't know how to obtain that, I would do anything to feel anything.
The only way I've ever been related to is through this type of interaction. So, there was another scene where she after she had came out of jail and she was told she couldn't sing anywhere, and they took her credentials away from her to be able to sing anywhere except for a couple of states, D.C. and somewhere else. I think Philly. Then she met this dude with a club somewhere else. He was like, you can perform on the stage here, right? But immediately, he's on that with her, smacking her ass first time he met her. You know what I'm saying? And then she go out there, she's singing the provocative song to him about, taking all of me or whatever. And then next thing you know, they backstage fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and then he was crazy. He's beating her like ridiculously, like on the ground, stomping her like she's some dude on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what she knows love to be. And so as dude got close to her, and dude is a clown, what?
I'm looking at the YouTube comments and Chrissy Love says, yesterday y'all was all on Magic Sky Daddy. Today is Weird Fine.
Life is about balance, Chris.
That's right, man. We stepping up every day.
Yes, hey. Life is about balance, But yeah, so even, I have a lot of opinions about dude who she was with, the FBI agent black dude that she was with, and we're gonna get into that part of the story too. Mm-hmm. But even after, he had, declared his love for her and all that, and he was, riding around with them instead of following them, she was like, yeah, this don't feel quite right to me. Let me bring back this abusive nigga who don't give a fuck. Called him. Come pick me up on the side of the road. I'm going to leave all of my people on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. Everybody who loves her is there. They're the only people who give any shit about her. The gay dude, the heavyset lady, and the dude that she was with at the time, and also the thin brother. They was the only people who ever gave a shit about her. She was like, yeah, because I'm not capable of receiving love, I don't really feel it, and I don't really value it, and so I can't give it back to you either. Fuck y'all, I'm out. I got to do a thing that feels normal to me, which is shoot up dope and be abused.
You ever been around somebody with depression?
Yeah.
So, I've been around a lot of people with depression,
mm-hmm.
right? And for a long time in my life, I was like, this ain't real. You don't want to be sad, be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You just switch it.
It's that simple for me.
Right.
Right.
But
I have a really close homie who suffers from depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to him about it. He said, man, it feels like you're clinging to a wall all your life. And no matter who it is, their job is to pull you off the wall while you're always trying to grapple with holding on to the wall.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that analogy was very interesting. But in the grappling of holding on to the wall, you got two options.
That's powerful too.
Right? Either you're going to pull that person off the wall or you're going to sink into that depression with them. There's no other option. You're going to drown with them. Either they're going to let go of the wall or you're going to drown with them. It just kind of is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's still in my mind a choice. You got to make a choice. You know what I mean? And that choice comes with work and whatever that work looks like. But again, like I said, this journey is about love. And I think that what happens in that specific space, that depression space, is that they give up on the fight. You know what I mean? They give up on the fight and they accept the toxicity of whatever that depressive state lends to. You know what I mean? I can't be happy. I give in to the whims of I'm not good enough. Or I give in to the whims of I can't produce this. I can't do that. I can't do that. And in a lot of ways for me, it translates as a lack of self-confidence and self-value. You know, then you think about the very narrative and the construct of America, right? Which is why marketing is so important in this construct and why capitalism works. They got to keep selling you that you less than, so you keep striving to meet that goal of more than by buying into said system,
Right.
buying into said material goals. You know what I mean?
That's how we keep you in our shit.
So when you look at that and you think about that, and this is the argument I've made to, you know, people who are therapists, it's like, how do you become healthy in an environment that's based in sickness?
You can't, right?
You know what I mean?
That's what
Then you put on top of that the levels of sickness that Billie Holiday comes from. You know what I mean? Her mama's a prostitute. She's trying to survive.
Right.
She sells her into prostitution so that she don't have the burden of the responsibility.
Right.
And then you add that on to just the very narrative of America, and just the shit just gets overwhelming.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It goes perfectly into the construct of America. It's everything that we understand. It's everything that we know. You know that it looks like. And you know, it's a very, very, very sad existence to understand that here's a woman who the entire world is swooning over, right? But she's incapable of receiving it. That was taken out of her at a very, very early age, even before her mama actually, you know, sold her into prostitution, right? You could tell her normal existence was to just walk through the house where all of these prostitutes are just having sex for money. They butt naked. All these grown men are walking around. All these creeps are walking around, and she's walking through the hall like, "What? Y'all see my mama? She butt naked, having sex right there. She on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just all kind of crazy stuff that's just her normal existence in the crib. So even before she got put out, like she had already been damaged to understand the value of exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
She'd accepted it as normal. Cherie said it best in it. She said that, you know, like they say, the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And that's kind of what depression looks like. I'm just indifferent.
I don't even care. I don't feel it. Like, whatever.
Don't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't matter. And that's also a lack of courage.
And that's where the drugs come in. That's where the heroin comes in. Because
for most people, it's escapism.
Yeah. I've never felt anything, right? And now y'all trying to require me to feel something, right? There's something y'all trying to require me to feel something, whether it's in relationship to my bandmates or to this dude who really loves me or to my fans. I can't go on stage if I'm not high. Like I got to be able to numb this feeling because I've never really felt before, and I'm not really trying to feel right now. Because once I start to feel, I got to feel everything, and everything I've suppressed for so I got to feel that now. I have no desire to feel that, and I understand it.
Hey, shout out to Mary, who's in the hallway, who's scared to come in here every goddamn day.
Yeah.
But Mary's in the comments saying most girls today, whether prostitution is placed on it or not, is exactly what's happening now with everyday women. And that's an argument that I make all the time. But it's also based in the same construct. You know, it's based in that what Cherie said, that the opposite of love ain't hate, it's indifference. Right? And because I don't see any value in men per se.
Right.
The only thing I have value in is meeting the social norm of America, i.e. whatever that material standard is, then this is the value of my body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because love is, I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah.
I don't care one way or the other.
Nah, Mary, you're absolutely right. There are several ways of numbing. I'm just saying that was the way that she used in the movie. But, you know, people use work for numbing. You know what I mean? I'm working 18 hours a day and I'm focusing. You're running away from something.
Yeah, you're just running.
You're running away from something, right? And so, you know, whether it's work or heroin, you know what I'm saying?
Still escapism.
It's right.
It's still escapism.
The reason is the same. And so she was dealing with all of that. And at the same time, you could feel how dope of a person she was, like how dope of a soul she was, like just her spirit, right? You can feel it. And it was a small interaction that they just used to show you, like, nah, never mind everything you've heard about her being an asshole or being rude or abrasive to people. She was not. That was not her nature at all. There was one scene where they were doing, seemed like they were doing tryouts for like a a trumpet player or something like that. And so they just all in the room chilling. I think she's like getting her hair done. They just chilling, talking. This dude is playing the trumpet, trying to audition for them. And dude was trash. And at just some point, while he was background, at some point it caught her ear, and she was like, he is not. I don't know what she said, but she's like, he's not jamming, right? And she just told him, like, he's not jamming. So dude's like, all right, that's it. You can bounce now. And so as they bounce, the woman who she was close to in the movie, the full-figure woman in the film, she was like, good riddance. Like, thank God you getting his ass out of here. She's like, don't do that. That ain't cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? We already told him to go. Don't do that. That ain't cool. She just had this dope energy and this dope spirit to where, you know, you could tell how dope of a person she was. You could tell how much, you know, she cared about, you know, blackness and the movement and everything. So it just was buried under so much toxicity that she couldn't find it.
I'm going to go from a different direction.
I know.
I don't know if she was dope as a person.
I think she was.
And I'm going to say,
I think buried down deep.
In this context.
Yeah.
Right? She was in pain. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the flip side of that pain, though, most creativity is birthed out of pain.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that in itself creates a certain kind of personality. You know what I mean? And there's a need, there's a balance that the universe needs that. You know what I mean? But just like she said, don't talk about the brother who we just kicked out the room.
Right.
To the friend, that same friend, she left stranded on the highway because I got better shit to do with my time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So I'm saying, like, in her soul, I really think she's a dope person. I really think she's a good person. What I'm saying is it's buried under so much trauma and so much toxicity that she can't really put her hands on it all the time. So she can't even feel it, you know what I'm saying, in terms of what she's doing to her people. She was just trying to escape again and go back to what she knows to be comfortable. And she left him on the side of the road. Showed no love, no loyalty, and none of that. I think that was her at her absolute worst. And that's why I mentioned that earlier. But I do still think that underneath that, she showed lots of signs of being a really, really dope spirit that uninhibited by her upbringing, uninhibited by the abuse she had experienced through relationships and all other things, I think that she would have been able to tap into how dope of a person she really, really was.
Yeah, but that's everybody's story.
I don't disagree.
Right? And I think that's kind of the problem. Right? She was inhibited by her story. Right? Somebody, and I don't know who said it in the comments, but they were like, childhood trauma is hard to overcome.
For sure.
I agree, but it's a necessity. That's what this journey is about. Right? There's growth beneath or in overcoming the pain. You know what I mean? But if you don't overcome the pain because you're afraid to face it, you will be imprisoned by it. Right? And that will dictate your movements going forward. So your failed relationships. That's the conversation we have every Friday. Every relationship you have in your life is a reflection. I'm not just talking about the romantic relationships. She left her girl on the side of the road.
Oh, yeah, she left her girl.
She left her girl sitting at the dinner table when the pimp dude walked up and introduced herself. Like, well,
yeah, like, no, we going upstairs. You right.
Well, you can't come, girl.
Every time.
It's about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Every time.
And that's what that does. It creates that unwillingness to deal with that trauma. That cowardness that it projects creates a very selfish person. But it's not even a selfishness based on growth.
It's based on survival.
It's based on survival and need to feel something. Whatever that something is doesn't even matter. Just something. So to the point of the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. The love that's projected to you don't matter.
One of the songs she performed on stage had such lyrics, and I don't want to mess these lyrics up, but I know I'm about to. They were along the lines of, I'll just give you the gist of it. I won't act like I know what the lines are. But she was saying that, you know, if I let my man beat my ass every day, so what? That's my business. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Okay. If I give my man all of my money,
this what I'm into.
So what?
This what I'm into.
That's what I do. Ain't none of your business. He take my whole check and he can beat my ass. That's what I'm into. It ain't none of your business. You know what I mean? But that's all she understood, G. That's all she understood. So, yeah.
But even in that selfishness based on survival, that's our misunderstanding of the universe. Because it's selflessness that really creates the most optimal level of survival. And we don't understand the journey.
I agree.
We all honor Jesus. We all honor Mythical Sky Daddy. Mythical Sky Daddy, whole story is, on whatever religion you align yourselves with, whichever one, the whole story is, watch me be selfless.
True.
Right? And we'll attach ourselves to those doctrines and then move adverse to everything that doctrine talks about. right?
Right.
Mythical Sky Daddy made wine out of water.
Right.
Gave fish to everybody.
Right.
We closed the doors with hungry people outside.
Made the lame walk.
All that.
Healed the one with the issue of blood. Everything was
We closed
selfless.
everything, right? But we operate adverse to that.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to be the very nature of white capitalism and white supremacy is based in lack, and because we've been socialized by that normalcy or that social understanding, we operate from that same place of lack.
In lack or in greed?
No, in lack.
I mean, the design of it is based in lack?
The very nature of it is based in lack. So you think about whiteness, it comes from the Caucasoid Mountains. No sun, no equator, no growth.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have food. This relationship don't matter to me. I'll kill your ass.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
Africa, next to the equator, there's an abundance for food. Mm-hmm. Every relationship matters to me because there's no scarcity here. Everybody can eat.
Yeah,
everybody eats, B.
I've always agreed with that analogy. I think it's brilliant. I think you can certainly trace it through. But at what point does it become greed?
The mindset never changes. It's still, even greed is a response to lack, right? So when you have, my grandmother, rest her soul, was a baby of the Depression, right? I don't quote me on when she passed away, but it was probably late 90s.
Sure.
She had food in the freezer in the basement that was there from the early 80s. Mm-hmm. She just wouldn't get rid of because she came from a space and place where you know what it feels like to not have food. Mm-hmm. So to throw away food is insanity.
Yeah, no, I told you I was having that same conversation with my mom about her shoes. And
Right.
she don't throw them away because her and my uncle had to share a pair for years.
From a place of lack.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Whether we from the outside see it as greed, and it's still the same, it's birthed out of the same energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now we have all adapted this as our philosophy in life while giving honor and respect to a mythical sky daddy who says, avoid that whole construct of living.
Right.
It's an oxymoronic system.
It's interesting how they can use that character to keep you in a system that is the antithesis of it.
Yeah.
Like that's a very, very interesting concept. My thing is, when I say, when does it become greed? We often hold ourselves and our people to this standard or this level of accountability that says, okay, when do you cease to be a victim and become a volunteer? Mm-hmm. And so I have to put that same construct or same expectation on the other end of that and say, okay, when does it cease to be about lack and become about greed? Like once you fucking full, you full, fam. You still keeping all the food though.
It's still birthed out of the same place though, right? It's birthed out of the same place.
Then you got to accept it from the other side then too.
But it being birthed out of the same place is based in cowardice too though, cuz. Mm-hmm. Right? Out of that lack, I'll kill my brother instead of saying, hey man, how do we beat this famine? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How do we beat this famine together? Because that is the very nature of the value of humanity. Right? That's why when you go to jail and you do some real outrageous shit, they put you in the hole to separate you from other people. Right. Because the very nature of our existence needs people. Mm-hmm. We thrive on the energy of
you need human interaction.
You need it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the very nature, if you believe in mythical sky daddy, or just the universe in general, right? Many hands makes for lighter work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but we don't move like that. We're all moving from this socialization of lack. And it's a cowardice move, but we've all been socialized in that manner.
So I'm saying this. If I am to agree with you on that, and I'm not sure that I do just yet, but if I am to agree with you on that, then I have to see how that translates the other way when you say, when do we cease to be a victim and become a volunteer, right? Like it's still this, we've been socialized to it, right? So wherever the origins are, no matter if some of the external circumstances change, I'm still this way. You know what I'm saying? I've still been socialized to be this way. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know that we can become any less the victim and more the volunteer than they can become any less needy or scarce, right? Or lack than they are greedy.
Perspective though. Mm-hmm. It's all perspective, right? Because what they do is they supplement things for what they lacking in love, right? Think about this, right? You've been to other countries, you know what I'm saying? But that's a rarity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most Americans don't go 8 miles away from their home, right? And I'm just saying in the context of America. But when you go to them other countries and you can see, the people cooking in garbage cans on the side of the road, you see the level of poverty. I was in China, man, and that's different, right? That's different than being on the island or somewhere that's being commercialized because the Western world hasn't really seeped into Chinese culture in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? But you get into mainland China, and you start to see an 80, 90-year-old dudes working in rice fields who've never owned a pair of shoes.
Right.
Right? And who knows their state of mind, but at least from the outside looking in, it's looked like they had some self-worth and some value that you don't necessarily see in the States in the same way.
Yeah.
Right? You could just see the happiness. You can see it in some of these people. Right? And because we don't have that opposite perspective, like our understanding of lack is different.
Somebody put Steve in the bed. Steve, get out. Go to bed, bro. Talk about some y'all just psychoanalyze me. The reason I got all these hoes right now is because I ain't had none when I was 5. And so now I'm just somebody kick him out, man. God. Candace says it's as basic as people stockpiling paper. Fear or not, having caused people to go apeshit. They turned into greed and they have it stockpiled in the ceiling of their homes. What was that about anyway? Like who said the world's ending? You know what we all need? Toilet paper. Gotta get it. Stockpile it. What? That was crazy to me. But yeah, the greed was set in. You got people fighting in the store about toilet paper.
Man, what? America puts away more trash than the entirety of the rest of the world, like 8 times the entirety of the
We
rest
don't
of the
care.
world.
We throw it away.
Every day. Right? That speaks to our level of greed.
We waste more food than it would take to feed all the homeless in the world. In America, we waste more food than it would take to end hunger.
Yeah, but think about poverty in general, right? How much of an issue it is worldwide. And then you think about what creates wealth and the resources that it takes to create wealth. There's more than enough abundance of resources in the world to make sure that no one's living impoverished. But because of the fear,
Of course.
and what that does is it creates this level of hoarding in your mind that you just can't look at it like that. And it's a power construct.
It's crazy, dog. Just look at our communities. Look at all the vacant homes and buildings and such. Fam, why people live on the streets in these communities? You know what I'm saying? You rather just have a vacant building. I'm talking about for years on end, decades.
It's sick.
Vacant building, but people sleep outside. Put the people in that building. What's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a crazy, crazy construct.
It's insane.
Yeah.
But that's the argument I have against therapy.
Ready Rock people couldn't tell you. She said, why toilet paper? Why not use a washcloth? Right? They couldn't explain it.
But that's the argument I have against therapy. Right? I've said this 1,000 times and everybody disagrees with me. Right? How could you possibly offer me therapy in a construct that you was educated in that ain't changed? When the very nature of the construct is insane. So if I operate outside the construct, I look crazy.
I got to be out of my mind.
I got to look crazy. You understand? So you helping me or fixing me would only align me back to the insanity of the construct.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Ain't no way around it for real. That's just kind of what it looks like. That's just kind of how it is. Let's take a break, man. When we come back from break, I want to get into what that looks like for us as a whole when you have black people, right, who in their own pursuit of rising out of their lack or whatever else it may be, find themselves working on the front lines for the enemy.
Ready, Rock? I'm not seeing a therapist. I'm healthy. For the record.
I'm a Viking.
I'm a Viking.
When you have black people working on the front lines for the enemy in a role where only black people can cause this mission to be successful, y'all bring down people that y'all claim to love and admire and respect, and they got y'all in the basement of their building just working on how y'all can bring all these people down. I want to talk about that piece because just like it was the case in the Black Messiah, it is also the case in United States versus Billie Holiday when you look at the whole black department that was in the basement. The one time they came upstairs, the white people looked at him like, what the fuck is you doing upstairs, nigga?
Yeah, you still a nigga.
What are you doing?
So Beulah says, I want to say this before we leave.
Sure.
I want to address this too. She says, I still disagree with you on that point too. It's nuanced. People can benefit from therapy in some cases. I'm going to address that when we come back from break.
This is I said what I said. His name is, I was about to say his name is Herb. My name is too. Call us one or the other. We'll be back.
WIFTBPM.
Parenting in a Pandemic, powered by the Chicagoland Mom Squad, hosted by me, Tennille Jackson. Today's guest will be Beulah McLeod. We know her and love her first and foremost here at What's in It for the Black People Media. We also know her and love her in the Chicagoland Mom Squad. Her life's work has been about leveling the playing field so that no matter what a child's zip code or economic status might be, he or she would have access to high quality education. What principles and values have been the most important for you when it comes to raising your daughter?
First of all, consistency, discipline, boundaries, with a lot of love, right? So from the time Asia was young, like she had a bedtime. We would
Say
do
that again out loud for the people in the back.
She had a bedtime. And no matter, it's interesting because my ex-husband and I have been divorced for like over a decade now, but we tried as much as possible to kind of mirror each other in terms of routines and habits, right?
Okay.
So if she had a bedtime at my house, she had a bedtime at his house. We tried to do that in tandem. Exposure is key. So exposing her to as many things as possible, as many opportunities as possible, allowing her to explore as many of her interests as she wanted to. And I think that's paid off because she's a creative child who now, and you know that she started her own business during the pandemic and just found really creative ways to keep going. So I think it's important that if children have interests, that you allow them to explore them because you never know where they're going to end up or what they'll land on. And she laughs to this day and is like, Mommy, thank you so much for just letting me try different things.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Snoop life for nothing. I'm really from the bottom, you know. The trenches, you know, the nothing to nothing. What you know about it? Nigga, we see a op, spin a block and let them footies off. Bully ball, hold up in your face and knock your hoodie off. Phone them never heard you, I rock Virgil, you some Urkel, nigga. Call up LeBron urgent, they come swerving, let folks murder, nigga. Street cars on purpose, we been shooting shit since purge. Doctor put them wraps around your head, look like some turban. Smoking dead niggas, feeling backwoods with anthrax. Got bankrolls and Doty and some 30 in this man bag. Seen it in their faces once them niggas started hating. They out here making statements, niggas signing out for Davis. What the fuck this shit been coming to? Snake shit at an all-time high. He got you robbed, they pistol whipped you till your jawline crack. But that's your mans though. Thought you had some friend though. How your homies ripping all the pockets off your pants though. Funny you was broke and they had money on your friend. Now he dead and you been stuffing all them bankrolls in your pants, snake nigga. Shit be crazy, man. All this backdoor shit at all time high, you know. These niggas who you call your friends, you know. Motherfuckers you seen. Been around your whole fucking life, you know. Look, I'm from the trenches where they found me at. Used to drink the cereal milk, not copping pounds of that. I'm standing 10 toes, round with them infos. At the blender fighting the slice, that boy like Kimbo, yeah. They spit me out and threw me right away. I lost my favorite unlike yesterday, that shit hurt like in every way. Doing jazz with money made, but feeling like some heavyweight. Talking about that plain Jane, now icing out some bezzy face. You try to play us, then it's heaven's gates. I show you how this desi taste, them bullets burn your neck like Tangeray. Shit, we lost Snoop the streets, we're playing right. Shit, we was trying to put them boys to bed, it wasn't no time to lay at night. I left them ball, them bullets razor sharp. I face a op, can't take a loss, ain't talking spritz, I'm trying to spread top. I dish out love, but I don't get it back. First generation of my nation, this shit living facts. Chief.
Back and we are live from inside the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Howard. I got that figured out over the break. In the production studio doing all of the hard work behind the scenes is Ron Rilla. Appreciate y'all so much for hanging out with us here on this Tuesday afternoon. Hope this day finds you doing well.
Real quick. Ron Rilla, what was that you was just playing, bro?
It's called Thoughts by my boy Hard Knock.
That's hard.
Yeah, it did go. That did go
hard.
crazy. Yeah, for sure. I definitely dig that. hope y'all doing well out there today, man. Hope you are feeling blessed for having being added to the wake up list this morning. Some people did not. So whether you believe in Mythical Sky Daddy like me, or you don't believe in Mythical Sky Daddy like two, be glad that you were on the wake up list this morning. You put yourself on the wake up list this morning?
I'm Mythical Sky Daddy. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, whatever works.
I am Malcolm X.
Alarm clock, whatever got you up this morning. Hope you appreciate that. We certainly appreciate y'all being here. Thanks for tuning in, whether you are watching on Facebook. And shout out to everybody watching on YouTube as well. We see y'all comments coming through, and we certainly appreciate it. My cousin Eric just came in here, man. I got a track that I sent Ryan that I want to play before the show is over, but I sent it to Ryan today, and
you know how that works.
He needs at least a week turnaround on it.
At least a week.
Yeah, so
to upload something.
We'll see if we can get it in next Tuesday. We'll see if we can get it in next Tuesday.
He works on his time.
Yeah,
I get it.
We'll see. Either way, we started today. Went through a quick rundown. Told you guys we're going to be talking about a few things today. We're going to get into the conversation later on that came, suggested that we have this conversation from Ready Rock, and then the good brother Howard Trout also sent some images and some clips from that story as well about the young white man who is the son of one of the top former executives at Nike, who was using his mother's executive account at Nike to basically steal shoes from Nike and resell them on the black market to the tune of millions of dollars. So we're going to have that conversation a little bit later on as well. We're also going to talk about the fact that CPS students and up to 1 million students across the state of Illinois are going to be receiving food funding while they are at home. $450 will be the first installment to each student. So if you have 2 kids in your home, you'll get $900 and so forth and so forth. We'll talk about that as well. Governor Abbott in the state of Texas has removed the mandate for wearing a mask. He says, I'm done with it. My people are done with it. We want our guns and our COVID. This is Texas. Don't tell us what to do. Period. Of course, Texas was going to be first. Florida will follow suit. And then we'll see who's next to follow. But anyway, those are some of the things we are going to get into.
Also, Trump is considering running in 2024 again, too.
This freaking guy.
Hey, salute. I love it. I do.
Hey, I'll tell you what. If we don't have a better option, I'm with it.
I just like shaking shit up.
Shake some shit up. Me too. You know what? That was my whole purpose in 2016 when I voted for him. Like, yeah, just shake it all up, fam. I'm cool. Bring that man in here. I wanted to shake it up positively in the form of like a Bernie Sanders or something. Ready Rock say Georgia will follow suit. Georgia trying to flip, but we'll see. Anyhow, those are some of the things we are going to get into. I feel like I left one thing out, but we definitely ran it down earlier. And then we hop into a conversation about the movie, The United States versus Billie Holiday. Catch us outside with no mask, hugging and tongue kissing. Our cousins. Let me cut it out. I'm just being serious. Billie Holiday, United States versus Billie Holiday. Very, very, the film was very, very well done. Depressing, bit tough to watch, but except when Audra Day was naked, wasn't that tough to watch.
Depending.
Yeah, I'm kidding. We talked about how traumatic.
Posturepedics. I'm just saying.
You want to explain that to the people or not?
I want to explain it to the people, but she definitely had to see Posturepedics.
Wow. Wow.
Figure it out if you can. You know what I mean?
Somebody's going to figure that out.
Somebody's
going to be hilarious.
But I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going any further.
That is hilarious.
It's Women's History Month.
Ryan, you want to take the first guess?
Said Sealy, so I'm guessing color purple.
Sealy.
That Sealy?
I blame CPS.
Oh, my.
I blame the Chicago Public
School. Oh, he just makes me do this sometimes. Oh.
Hey, I'm supposed to know.
Goodness.
Oh, God, I'm embarrassed.
Sealy Posturepedic. The mattress.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
I've heard orthopedic. I didn't know there was a name brand called Sealy.
He didn't have. He just got a bed recently. He doesn't know.
I just know that orthopedic mattresses.
He doesn't know.
I didn't know that.
Just stop talking. Cut his mic off. Just do that. Just
cut
stop
your
now.
own mic off.
Stop it while you're ahead. Just cut
Stop
your
it
mic
while
off.
you're behind.
Stop it while you're behind.
Goodness.
Not ashamed to not know something.
It's not.
Obviously, you're not.
It's not. It's not. God damn it. Okay, so somebody's already with you.
I see. Salute. I see. It's a quick audience.
Somebody already understands. Everybody's not blessed
Definitely had the silly pasta pieces going
with
on.
such an amazing rack. Okay, let me get myself together.
Funny, but not funny.
Yeah. Anyhow, I cannot see him, but I can't. It's stupid. Anyhow, the movie was very, very well done. Lots of powerful scenes. We hadn't even got to the most gory or traumatic or sobering scene, if you will, which happened a little bit later in the film, in which she being Billie Holiday stumbled upon as they were traveling on the tour. They put over the side of the road. She went into the bushes to relieve herself, and she heard some children crying. As she went to investigate what the sound was coming from, why the children were crying, she stumbled upon a lynching where a woman had just been lynched, hanged from the tree. Her 2 daughters were there screaming and crying. Her husband was there trying to get her down off the tree, although she was clearly already gone. They had burned a cross into these people's backyard, and there was a sign draped around her neck that says "Justice served." And because these was ignorant redneck white folk, they couldn't even spell justice. Okay, it said Justis. Justice served draped around her neck. Very, 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 very traumatic. And ultimately, that is kind of what led to Billie Holiday finally performing Strange Fruit again after she had been prohibited from it, jailed for it. Well, she was jailed for drug possession, but they went and got her, right, because of the song and the message that it was spreading. But anyway.
Strange Fruit swaying in the southern breeze.
Yeah, man.
You know what's interesting
the
about
lyrics
that,
on
though,
that joint.
right? You could juxtapose that moment in time where she saw, death, murder, up
murder.
close,
yeah,
right? And she made a song about it, which became a political statement, right? So much so that the United States government was they locked their ass up for it for a year.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
2 generations later, we see death, we put it into music, and we champion it. And what's the difference between a lynching and a shooting or murder or however you put it? It's still now it's like a celebration of black bodies and death after our conditioning. After you can be conditioned to accept anything.
I follow you. I understand where you're going. I always have a very, very tough time with that argument because it's an argument that you often hear when you're talking about, white supremacy, police brutality, racism, cops killing unarmed black people. Well, y'all kill each other every day, fam. That's a tough correlation for me to make.
But I don't think the correlation. I'm not trying to make the correlation that y'all kill each other every day. That's not the correlation I'm trying to make. I'm making the correlation that we went from mourning black bodies hanging from southern trees to celebrating death of black bodies.
Okay, yeah,
and I don't think that's a stretch, and I think it's based on
I can see those things independently for sure.
Been conditioned.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? We always talk about O Block, right? It was a political statement for Billie Holiday to say, man, this is fucked up. It's a badge of honor to come out of O Block and say, you on my list. I don't think it's much of a stretch. It's based on the conditioning.
Yeah.
Right? It's based on the conditioning, based on the circumstances, based on the level of depression, right? Based on that indifference, right? Billie Holiday saw that image and it stained her brain. It stained her memory. She couldn't get away from it, right? Even in the scene that you saw, with her chasing down the heroin, when she was having that dream scene, she remembers going to pee in the bushes and seeing this black body hanging in the southern breeze. This is when she was a child. You know what I mean? Then you juxtapose that to today, and kids see that, and it be so normalized, it's now become a badge of honor.
No, I feel that part for sure. I get like tense when I feel that particular argument coming on. You weren't making it. I'm with you. I understand what you were saying. I'm with you on that piece for sure. I want to have a conversation about the black people working in the basement
in the FBI.
of the FBI. And they're only there.
The Jay-Z's of the world.
They're only there because we can't get access to the spaces we need as white people, right? We can't get access to the spaces we need.
They said in the movie, they can't infiltrate Harlem.
Exactly, right? So that's what you niggas are here for, okay? I need you niggers to get in here and go do it, all right? And so you nigger, you learn how to play whatever the light-skinned dude was he was playing the flute or whatever he was trying to learn how to play. You nigger, you write songs and you show up at the club every day until you earn your way into their circle of trust, and then you get her arrested. Like, you arrest her, in fact.
William O'Neal,
exactly. How you feel about these dudes, man? About these people, right? Because I'm sure there are women too. Just these past two movies, there have just been dudes. But how do you feel about black people who, whether they find a way to justify it or not, like William O'Neal, or whether they struggle with it for the rest of their life, like the dude in this movie? Like, I should probably figure out what his name is. Stop calling him the dude. But anyway, whether they struggle with it like he did, like, how do you? I can't reconcile it in my head. I can't reconcile that in my brain for how I could be the person who is deliberately attacking all these people who I really claim to admire and look up to, and all. Like, it's tough.
But I reconcile it the same way I reconcile Billie Holiday's trauma. Right? It's all about trying to find value. You know what I mean? Think about the conversations that they was having in the FBI office when they was down in the basement. The dude who played the detective that was following Billie Holiday and Diana Ross' son, Evan Ross, was the other detective. And they was having a dialogue back and forth every time that he was in that basement. Oh, man, you made it. They're going to have to move you up to eventually.
Right.
We going to be valid.
Right.
We're going to have value,
Right.
searching for value.
Right.
Right? Same thing Billie Holiday was doing in that dope, searching for feeling because she didn't have any value. Searching for feeling in men beating her ass because she didn't have any internal value. Going back to Mythical Sky Daddy, right? Which is why I say I'm not sick. I recognize I'm Mythical Sky Daddy. I'm God. How you going to dictate my fucking value? I control that.
Yeah.
I'm valuable because I'm breathing oxygen.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what your social norms are.
Yeah.
And that's a very difficult thing to struggle through. That's a level of self-confidence that has to be garnered over years in understanding and paying attention and in self-investment. And that's a difficult thing in the face of the wealth of oppression that black people face.
For sure. For
Right?
sure.
So somebody in the comments said the kids in Parkway is traumatized too. I agree, but it's still the same trauma. It's still the same trauma.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have any value until you are in proximity to what I say is valuable.
Exactly.
Period.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters.
Nothing could validate you as a human being.
Nothing. You understand me? And whatever the conditioning is we put, if it's killing somebody that's going to put you in proximity to me, then that's what you got to do. Because we don't value anything except for capital, which is why In God We Trust is on every dollar bill, because that's legitimately most people's God. You can lie or you won't. You don't act in accordance of Jesus.
Nah.
You don't act in accordance of Muhammad. You don't act in accordance of Buddha.
Nah. You're not God-like at all.
At all.
Right.
But whatever that dollar say do, I've seen you respond to that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and at the core of it, we could say whether it's survival, whatever. At the core of it, the minute we stop, that shit shuts down.
Yeah. I agree.
It shuts down.
It does.
Right? It's more of us than it is of them.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? But in order to do that, you have to let go of that value system. You have to drop out of it. Zero grade reliance. I have to, like B said, you cannot revolt against that in what you love, and we love it. So what we do is we keep aligning ourselves and linking ourselves to the traumas to find ways to assimilate into said culture. That's all it is, man.
No, I feel you, man. That thing is really, really hard, and it's like there's job security there too, right? As long as there's white supremacy, we gonna need some niggers to invade, to infiltrate any organization or individual that we deem threatening to our supremacy. And but also, if you caught up in a trap now, you can't come back to the squad. You can't come play with us no more. Now, because Billie Holiday was
Is
who
there
she
a squad though?
No, but my point being that just like William O'Neal knew, if they find out, you know what I'm saying, if the Panthers find out, they gonna kill me. right? And the same would have been for dude, except Billie Holiday doesn't have any feelings. She didn't have no feelings. So when he came back to her after he had imprisoned her for a year, she was like, y'all can let him in. But everybody was like, fool, you showed up here? You ain't coming in here. But, you know, she was different because she ain't feel nothing, so she just let him back in. But so you can't go back there. So now you're just stuck here doing this for us until we don't have no more use for you. And then we'll kill you because you know too much. Because they definitely killed him. Like, whoever does that for a full career, once we don't have another mission for you, we're going to kill you. Like, that's just, I don't see any way around it. You're not going to have a retirement ceremony and a gold watch and nothing.
What you got to lose, they're killing you from birth. And I think that's the recompense for Parkway, or the recompense for the South Side, or the recompense for Detroit, or Brooklyn, or whatever, you know, wherever we at.
Sure.
What do I have to lose? Sure. I'm dying out here. Right? What is it? 1 in 3 black men experience some kind of level of incarceration? The fuck I got to lose? The day I was born was the day you start imposing death on me.
Before.
When
you look at the birth mortality rate for black people in America, and they're comparable to that of third world countries, before.
Right. So when I say, what's the team? There is no team because we've all succumbed to the cowardice of letting go of said system. Right? When you think about Billie Holiday's day, or we talk about Malcolm, or we talk about Martin, or we talk about Marcus Garvey, we talk about all of those people, there was a culture that existed in response to white supremacy. Right? Hey, man, fuck this. I ain't with this. Right? And it creates a value system just anchoring yourself into the fuck this, I ain't with this side of the game.
Right.
That doesn't exist anymore.
It's really, really hard to get people to understand that the very, very thing that you are so desperately in pursuit of is the very, very thing that is causing all of the L's that you've had to overcome and deal with your entire life. This is the very thing that is creating everything that's ailing you is the very thing you're in pursuit of. And it's so crazy to think that you're going to find the cure to what's ailing you in the cause.
Somebody on YouTube, J4 Wright, says, when they try to sell Africa to us, they say, don't worry, it's modernized.
Right.
Cities full of skyscrapers, capital all around.
Same shit.
Y'all
come over here and do that shit.
Yeah. It's like going to another country and just being on the goddamn the resort.
Right.
You don't give a shit about this country. You don't want to know to learn nothing. You just want to be lazy and experience what you could experience down the street from you.
Chris Rock talked about it in one of his pieces. He talks about how you drive down the road from the airport to your resort and see poverty, the likes of which you've never seen before. And then he's like, is that a dead baby? Yeah. You get to the resort, they give you a margarita. Oh, it's paradise.
It's paradise. Right.
Yeah.
Because we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. Again, that analogy Chris Rock used. You see all this poverty. You see all this destruction. You see all this death.
Death and despair all around.
1 block away, it's a resort with a beautiful beach. And you're like, oh, this ain't all that bad.
Yeah.
But we experienced the same shit on 51st Street. On 47th Street.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And you get into your crib or you get into whatever, and all that shit escapes you. Because it's difficult to face that shit up front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the very necessity of humanity is to face that shit up front. We are here for a reason, collectively. We have I saw this Indian proverb today, and it said that humans don't own the earth. The earth owns humans. We got the shit confused.
We just live here, fam.
We just live here. We're part of the cycle. We have a value set here. We confuse the shit. We think we in power. We're not.
No. And any natural disaster should let us know that, right? Any of those things should let us know, like, yeah, fam, none of that can save you, right? Every single year, how many countless numbers of mansions burn in the hills of California? Fam, none of that money gonna save you. Like, if nature, like, it's up, fam. Period.
But at the end of the day, right? Think of it, if you have immense wealth, whatever that looks like to you, because it's subjective.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What can somebody with immense wealth do that somebody that's living in immense poverty can't do?
It's the same freedom.
the same freedom.
If I live under the Viaduct on 51st,
I don't get no responsibility.
I don't have nothing to do today. I can get up and do whatever I want.
I want to do.
All right, I can do whatever I want to do today. I want to lay here and chill all day. I can lay here and chill all day. I want to get up and go way over there. I can get up and go way over there. Mm-hmm. Same thing rich people could do.
Same thing. The only thing that changes is the brands.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You stop at a nicer restaurant and eat. Okay, I eat whatever is available. Whatever.
So how does that become uber valuable? It's confusing.
Sleight of hand, G.
Look.
Everything's happening. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is how that thing works, man. But if you have not seen the movie, watch it. It is available on Hulu right now. You should watch it. I guess if you haven't seen the movie, you probably turned away from this conversation if you intended on watching the movie and you haven't seen it, because we just spoiled it all. But it is a very, very powerful film, and it touches on a lot of things, from child abuse to sex abuse to being emotionally empty to drug abuse to disloyalty to not being able to feel love, not being able to give nor receive love, but also larger constructs of what loyalty looks like in terms of black people working for the FBI and bringing them down, and how the FBI and white supremacy in general uses us as pawns in their particular scheme and in their system. It is a really, really worthwhile movie to watch. And I don't know, for me, I didn't know a whole lot about Billie Holiday. I mean, I just very surface level stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about it either.
Yeah.
Except for heroin.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it was cool. It was cool is not the right word, but it was definitely worth the watch. Y'all should definitely watch it. It was a very, very well done film, and the actress, Sister Audra Day, she won a Golden Globe for it, like best best actress in a drama or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, she did. But yeah, she was really, really good in the film too.
Yeah, she's dope. She played the role.
Yeah, I didn't even know she wasn't an actress though. I didn't know that was like the ladies, because she sings that song, that Rise Up song. You know what I'm talking about? And I rise up.
I've heard
that song. Yeah. She sings that song. I didn't know she wasn't really an actress, right? She killed this movie though.
That either.
Yeah, she laid this thing down very, very well. So
yeah, she dope then that's her first role ever.
I don't know if it was her first role ever, but it seemed certainly her first big role, first starring role.
Open up some opportunities.
Yeah,
she was dope.
Yeah, she did some things with that, man. Shout out to her for how
she's a Delta. Shout out to all the Deltas.
Yeah, shout out to the Deltas, man.
I love them Deltas.
Mandatory, absolutely mandatory.
To the Deltas.
Every single one of them.
Not everyone, but you know.
Sure. Let me cut it out. I'm just being serious. You throw me off every time. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic for today. CPS. Chicago Public School students, every single one of them, all 355,000 of them will be receiving food benefits, a food stipend, if you will, in the forms of PEBT cards.
Hot 450.
Yeah, hot 450 per child to supplement them for, I think it was $6.82 per day, going back from when the pandemic started, in schools closed up until this past December. And $450 per student is what that apparently totaled up to based on the school days that they were in there. And so each student, starting today, they mailed out these cards with $450 on them per child. So if you get 2 children living in your home, you get 2 of those, 3, you get 3 of them, so on and so forth.
I wonder how long it takes you to get accepted to CPS. Beulah, how long does it take to get accepted to CPS? I want to enroll one of my kids today. Maybe both of them.
Roll both of them,
Roll both of them.
Whatever. Nobody got to go to the school no more.
Bring me my money.
You know what I'm saying? They pay you to stay home, which is really the conversation I want to have.
Universal basic income.
Paying you to stay home.
Well, here's something to talk about, though. I know we reached on this earlier, but Cherie Chapman said, can we talk about how, she said this earlier in the conversation, she said, can we talk about how our aid programs are still not comprehensive to basic needs? Yes, giving them food, but they need soap and deodorant, too. I'm just saying.
No, that's a real spill.
And when you start thinking about the numbers that black
But the school ain't never did that. School like that.
But it ain't about the school. It's just
in
general about aid. You know what I mean? Like, what's that look like? What's help look like? So when you think about the $450, right? That's why I asked the question about the $6 a day to feed a child. Is that really viable? If you're in a position where you can't feed the child, that you have, then you're also probably in a position where you can't get proper toiletries for the child too.
Exactly.
Your living conditions all around is probably squandered. You know what I'm saying?
If you can't meet the most basic necessity, nothing else is being
serviced. You know what I mean? So you think about that in concept to the world that these kids are inherited. I know last time I checked, it was something like 1 in 5 black households have access to computers. You know what I mean? Where they're moving into a world where everything is digital. You know what I mean? So how do you survive in a world where everything is digital and you don't even have any access to anything that's digital?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think about that in terms of my own household and how my family operates. Everybody in my house got their own personal computer, and we don't really turn on anything else.
Yeah.
Like that TV don't get used unless Eric's playing a video game. There's one TV in the house and there's no need for no other television. You know what I mean? And there's a level of disconnectivity that creates, and I'm not well aware of all that. But they're accessing the next world. You know what I mean? There was when the pandemic first hit, there was a marketing campaign pushed by, I think it was Walgreens. And it was interesting because the campaign had a commercial of a young black boy inside of a Walgreens store using a Walgreens computer to do homework. And the message behind it was like, we open up our doors to the public to make sure kids can get yada, 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 service met. And it was just supposed to be this kind of heartfelt, warm moment where it shows that Walgreens cares about the community. But you think about that from the different side of the perspective, another side of the coin. Here's a young boy, and this is just a commercial, of course, so it's all hypothetical, but here's a boy standing in the middle of a goddamn grocery store doing his homework because he doesn't have access in his home. He can't compete. He can't compete into the world that they're inheriting.
No.
Right? You're creating a failed prospect. This is what the school to prison pipeline looks like. There is no option. Right? How do you prepare somebody for a job in a world that only operates digitally and they never had access to digital access? They never had digital access.
Right. You can't.
It's very interesting.
You can't even make up the narrative that you are creating an even playing field for them to compete. You are not creating an even playing field for them to compete. There's no way they can compete in that landscape. That being said, Q said you're gonna have people out there trying to buy Jordans with their kid lunch money. That's absolutely true. They're gonna do it the same way they do the link cards. They're gonna sell they're gonna trade the SNAP benefits for cash.
Yeah, but it's still about finding self-worth.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's still about finding self-worth.
Beulah, on an individual basis, you can definitely find schools and teachers who provide those type of supplemental necessities to their students, but there's no there's in the system as a whole, there's nothing put in place to provide those types of needs. And I'm not saying it's the school's responsibility per se, but it should be the responsibility, or at least on the mind of the government, to figure out how we can meet people's most basic needs of, I don't know, soap or whatever, because a lot of kids don't have it. Yesterday we were talking about this being Women's History Month, who were some influential women in our lives personally. And I referred to one of those women as being Miss Chavez, who was my 7th and 8th grade teacher. She always had this bucket just in the back. It was just a bucket that had, soap and deodorant and, all that kind of stuff that you needed. And all she would do is, if a kid came in there and, it was a couple times a week, at least one kid was in there. And you know how the rest of the kids can be like, no, I don't want to sit next to me stink. You know what I'm saying? She stink. And Miss Chavez would be like, just go get the bucket, go do something. You know what I'm saying? And they come there early, go to the bathroom, whatever. So yeah, on an individual basis that happens, but it's not put in place to where we care about people like that on a large scale level. But I do think it is a really, really cool thing that they are figuring out what to do with this money. Now, obviously the money was there, right? The kids ain't been to school. Y'all ain't been feeding them. It's there. Give it to the kids, right? But you're giving it to them if they do not come to school. And so now you have an incentive to kind of stay away from this thing, right? Don't really come into the building. We get you this check. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of opportunity for abuse there. That being said, that is not a reason to not go through the system. I think it's a really, really cool thing that they are doing. But I'm interested to see what type of impact that will have on attendance. I'm curious about what the attendance has been anyway since they reopened school. Like what percentage of students have actually gone back to going into the classroom, whether it's part-time or whatever. But I think that this will serve as another incentive for them not to. You know what I mean? I don't really think they're trying to get back to this space. I know a lot of businesses looking at it from a purely financial perspective have seen great growth and productivity in the pandemic while their staffs have been working remote. If the school systems have found the same thing, we know that the children are not paramount when in terms of how they go about making decisions. So if the bottom line says it's better for us to have the kids at home, that's probably what they're going to go about doing. And I think that is playing as big a role as anything in this particular conversation.
For me, it all goes back to Cherie's statement, right? I just looked this up. I just Googled it, said, and I asked, what's the percentages of Americans living in poverty in 2001?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't even break down racially. That just is Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And it says that 10.5% of Americans live in poverty, right? Then if you was to ask, like, what is the standard or what's the definitive of poverty? What's the poverty rate? I'm trying to Google it now, but I think it comes up. The last time I think I checked, it was something like 20,000 maybe of a family of 4, right? If that's the standard, what planet are you on?
Mm-hmm.
When you start thinking about the conversation around minimum wage and the increase in minimum wage to $15.
Yeah.
Right? If you look around the nation right now, there's no place in America where you can have a 1-bedroom apartment with the standard rates, the standard minimum wage rate.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, I don't know what that breakdown is, but I think the average, I don't know what the average minimum wage yearly check is, but I think it sums up somewhere around $24,000.
Mm-hmm.
So them people wouldn't even necessarily qualify as being impoverished,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't get a 1-bedroom apartment
Mm-hmm.
because the standard is, the scale is off.
How do you expect people to survive?
It's off kilter.
Right.
So to say it's like 10.5% or whatever the number was I said a minute ago, if you really factored in that in America today, I would assume 50,000 is really probably
Mm-hmm.
poverty still.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's 30,000 more than what the American standard is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Them numbers would probably go to like 70% of Americans.
But that also calls on us to say, well, how do we withdraw? You know what I mean? Like you playing a game that 50,000 still keeps you at the very bottom. What we doing? You know what I mean? Like why? What we on? How can we not find a better way to go about surviving and thriving in this particular society? We got to find a way to be able to do that. And it's how far are you willing to go? You know what I'm saying? What do you deem most valuable? And so long as we deem capital as king, then we'll continue to see everything else perish. It ain't about people. It ain't about relationships. It ain't about children. It ain't about students. It ain't about spouses. It ain't about nothing. Like all the rest of that pales in comparison to my pursuit of the dollar. That's just kind of how that thing goes. That's kind of how that thing goes. That's how it plays out. That's how I expect it will continue to play out. I think in the article that I read that you sent me about the I don't even know what to call it, the food.
Public aid. That's what it is. That's what it breaks down to.
Well, I don't know if it's public aid.
It is.
It's a food stipend, right? Like it's
still public aid. It's governmental aid.
Okay.
It's the same thing as the block of cheese at the church when I was shorty. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying they would get food at school. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if it's the exact same. But either way,
but based
sure.
on the same concept,
yeah.
Right? So even when you go to, that's the necessity of school. That's where this came from, right? So they say that, if you're living in immense poverty, you get these food programs through school so that they can commit to not starving you out. You're definitely going to eat within this system. You know what I mean? Now that you're not in this structure anymore, how can we ensure that these children are surviving? How can we ensure that these children are eating? And that's what it is.
I bet you if y'all stop giving that shit attention, it'll go away. I bet you that. Anyhow, I'm saying this. In that article that you sent me, it said, I think it was 73% of CPS students, might have been 77%. 73% of CPS students are considered underserved or impoverished.
Man, I've heard numbers that say something like 45 to 50% of CPS students are homeless. I don't know how true that is, but I've heard them numbers before. I know it. Now, homeless by not in the same definitive.
No, all my cousins live at grandma's house.
Yeah, everybody live at grandma's house. You know what I mean? I'm sleeping at Auntie Joyce Fiend's house. Right. You know what I mean? You just don't know.
Right.
So
possible.
That's just wild.
But you know, if by the accepted definition, 73 to 77% of them are impoverished. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to figure out, clearly this is not working.
For who?
For us.
Right. But see, that's coming from.
I'm not calling on nobody else to change it. It's working very well for them. Why would they want to change it? It works for them. I'm saying, why do we continue to partake in it? Like, we gotta
We've accepted being powerless.
Exactly.
Right? Which is the conditioning I was speaking about. It's the trauma that Billie Holiday suffered. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a victim to this no matter what. I'm going to continue to be a victim to it. Because this is what feels normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can condition the mind to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's I told you the science behind understanding the 7 numbers of a phone number.
Yeah.
If they was 8, nobody'd ever remember a number. Because the mind doesn't work that way. It's people that study this all day long. How do we create a space and place where we can condition you to operate within this maze how we want you to operate within this maze? It's like a trained puppy. You're a trained puppy. Right? And because you don't have any other experiences outside of it, and you're not even investing in them. Like, and think about this. I was talking to my son the other day, right? And we have this continuing conversation about life and what you're going to do and what's your expectation, what's your interest, what's driving you, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, Dad, I don't like to read. And I said, well, that's dumb. Right? And I explained to him why I thought it was dumb. You know what I mean? I said, you've heard me call, and it's just me and him having dialogue. I said, you heard me call television the idiot box before. I was like, why I call it the idiot box? He was like, no. I said, because it dictates all of your senses. It tells you what you're supposed to see. It tells you what you're supposed to feel. And it tells you what you're supposed to think. When you open up different mediums like radio only implodes your ears. It's only coming through your ears. So you have to visually create images within your mind. You're diving into the very nature of your human existence to create an imagery. You're using creativity.
Sure.
God, power, creation. Right? So you can expand beyond what you're just hearing. You can create the visualization.
Same thing with reading.
Same thing, but with reading, you use all of those senses to create every one of those aspects. Right? Which opens up the door to the power of your creativity. You know what I mean? And that is the very nature of humanity, to explore your creativity, to create, rethink, do something new. Right?
And interesting when you're reading the book, the voice that you give certain characters.
Yeah, because it's your perspective.
You create, you're
creating this.
Two people read the same thing. They got two different voices for how that person is speaking, how they sound, how they come across, how their voice projects, how it commands. Like, you know what I mean? That's always just a kind of interesting thing to me, for sure. I feel you on that.
But that's the power of the human mind.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But think about this: when you're sitting at the front of the television, you don't have none of those feelings or emotions.
Yeah,
you don't think about none of that shit.
Yeah,
because you're being told how to feel. You're being conditioned. Right, which is why companies spend so much money on marketing products instead of creating products. Yeah, because they want to condition you to your need of them. Yeah, you understand? Yeah, and we've been so conditioned by these ideas that think about how I told you, like, media really is more powerful than government because it dictates thought, it dictates behavior, and we're in a space and place where we don't go beyond what the media tells us to think and believe. Right, and how long has that happened? I think the Bible is a reflection of that in a lot of ways. I've said that a long time ago. It's one of the first mass media pushes. It's one of the first mass media campaigns.
The biggest and most successful we've ever seen.
Absolutely, to this day.
Yeah,
right. And it works until you invest deeper. Until you go deeper. And if you don't go deeper than that surface level, that shallow understanding, and even the Bible. Think about people who fully committed themselves to religion. Yeah. And you can go have a conversation with them and realize they ass ain't never even read the book that they committed to. How is that possible? You understand what I'm saying? How is that? Somebody told you to believe this, and you believe it with all your heart.
Hook, line, and sinker. Every word.
This book is available in that free in every hotel you've ever stopped in. You ain't never had the desire to open it up and see for yourself? No, because you've been conditioned to accept whatever reality it is. And we do it in mass. Right? So I talk about King and his "I Have a Dream" speech. That even though that wasn't in the speech necessarily, I think that was ordained by the universe because it creates a paradigm where you could create anything you want to in a dream. You can see beyond the current norms. We don't do that anymore.
No, we don't even think critically, bro. We're taught not to think critically, and so all of our thoughts are unoriginal, duplicated thoughts of somebody else, of the masses, of television, of whomever it may be. We don't even think critically anymore. So if I walk into a decision, if I walk into a debate, and I have to make a decision about it, and 10 people standing over here on this side, and one person standing over there, most people just gonna go over there. Like, they got to be right. They all over there. What your stupid ass doing over here? Never mind what the actual facts of the discussion may be. I've already made up my mind about it. It's the same thing I say all the time about just politics in general. It's so stupid to make up your mind about which side of an argument you're on before you hear the argument. That is dumb as hell to me. But I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. What? I'm a person.
Yeah, but
tell me what we're arguing about, and I'll tell you what side I'm on.
It's the analogy, though, right? It's the horse analogy. You don't got to tie us up no more.
No, because you teach them early. You teach them real early. It's what we do to children all the time. Children are inquisitive by nature. They're trying to learn and understand the environment that they just inherited, right? Which is another problem. I always talk about how we are the only species on this face of this planet that intentionally delays the development of our offspring, right? But in doing that, one of the things we also do is we kind of kill that inquisitive nature that they have. And so kids will ask you why 30 times in a row. We think they're just being annoying. Sometimes they are, but what you haven't answered their question. You haven't satisfied their need to know something. And so what we do is, because I said so, because I'm the adult, stop asking why. And you hear that long enough at home, at school, and elsewhere, you stop asking why. And you start accepting things to be as whatever you were told they are. Mm-hmm. And you don't unlearn that as an adult. You just fall deeper and deeper into it.
Unless you challenge yourself.
Exactly.
Right. And therein lies the very nature of the value of relationship. Mm-hmm. Right. Because what relationships are supposed to do is become a mirror to yourself, mm-hmm. which in turn forces you, if you're internalizing the effects of said relationship, mm-hmm. you should seek that information via internally. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, this is a challenge to me. Mm-hmm. How do I overcome this challenge instead of attributing that to the problem within the person? Mm-hmm. What they're really doing now is pointing out a flaw within yourself. Mm-hmm. And you got to dig deeper. Mm-hmm. That's the value of that mirror analogy. Right. You got to dig deeper. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But again, if you are a coward, you're not going to dig deeper.
Nah.
It is what it is.
Nah, you just
right?
accept
If you're lazy, you're not going to dig
accept
deeper.
It.
Right? And that is the very essence of the journey. That's why I say the journey is more valuable than the destination. That's what this journey is about. It's always about digging deeper. Mm-hmm. It's always about finding those inconsistencies. It's always about finding those limited beliefs about yourself to push forward for more. Mm-hmm. And the minute you stop, they say the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop dying.
Start dying,
right? Well, if we accept that as the truth, the vast majority, my dad used to have something that's saying, he said black children don't get stupid till they go to school. Mm. And I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it makes
but
sense,
I think it's some value there.
It makes sense, dog. You're trying to get. We can extrapolate it across a larger scale. We talk about the entire school or the entire school system. But let's just bring it to a classroom. You're trying to get 30 individual human beings to do and receive the exact same thing from whatever lesson. I want y'all to do the exact same way. I want y'all to learn the exact same thing from it in the exact same way. That doesn't make sense. In no other aspect of our lives does anybody expect us to do everything the same. You know what I mean? It just, there's no expectation of that. We don't dress the same. We don't like the same music. You know what I'm saying? We don't do our hair the same. We don't do anything else the same. But school, everybody has to do it the exact same way. Otherwise, you stupid.
But I'd argue that's not true either.
I don't know how.
We dress exactly the same. I'd argue that we have our hair exactly the same. Mm-hmm. It's variance, it's minor variance, but that's the power of branding. That's the power of marketing. I.e., Q saying, then people gonna get that 450 and go get Jordans because without Jordans, you don't fit into the social norm, and we all are seeking to fit into the social norm. Right? So whatever risk I got to take to fit into, to find value, to be a part of, I'm going to do so. Yeah. Because internally I lack value.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It kind of is what it is.
No, I dig. I dig, but I'm just like school just, there are some great memes about school or whatever. And one is, have all these animals like lined up in front of a teacher, a professor, or whatever, and all the animals are lined up, and it's a squirrel, a bear, a fish, or whatever, and say, "Okay, class, today's test is climb that tree," right? And it's like,
everybody not equipped to climb.
now if I'm the dolphin, right?
You fucked.
I'm the smartest animal on the planet, but I look stupid as fuck because I can't climb this tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Same measuring stick.
Yeah.
But
how do you do that?
But fuck all that. Let's get away from the measuring stick. Let's say the goal. Let's say the outcomes.
That's what I'm saying. The outcome at the end of all, everybody expected to do the same thing, chart the same course. That is fucking ridiculous.
The goal is the same.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's goal is to do what?
To make money.
Right. Which can't be your value on the planet if every human is different.
No. If your goal might be to make great art. Your goal might be to mentor children. Your goal might be to fucking build whatever. I don't know, right? But it shouldn't be money, right? Not money purely. Now, ideally, you're trying to find that sweet spot to where the thing that you're passionate about, the thing that you were really put on earth to do, can sustain you financially and offer you some opportunities and experiences that you feel blessed to have.
But even financially is a construct. You
Agree.
understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Why? Right? There were societies where the artists were valuable, and them creating their art created their value to said society.
Right.
That sustained them, just their art, right? Because you create this art, you deserve to live in this kind of a home.
But this is what we do.
You deserve to live in this section of the city. This is where the artists live. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Period.
In sports, man, you win a championship in a town, and you have this saying that says, "Oh, they'll never have to buy another beer in this town again. They'll never have to buy a meal in this town again." And the concept is being, okay, you, Mike Dicker, you were the head coach of the 85 Bears in Chicago. For the rest of your life, Mike Dicker, you can do whatever the fuck you want in Chicago, right? Never mind money, right? Nobody said we're going to pay you whatever, but for the rest of your time in Chicago, you will be held as king because of what you bought, the value you brought to us based off your skill set and what you were passionate about doing. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, but that ain't how we move, right? And so even if you talk about just how we move in the construct of a capitalist society where money is a necessity, then even then, right, I don't think that you should allow that to dictate how you spend your time. Time is your most valuable resource, right? And you're going to spend your time as much of as at least a third of your life, right? At least a third of all your days, 8 hours out of your 24, you're going to do something you do not like to do?
That's the fallacy, though. You still got to uproot the entirety of the construct, right? So even thinking about public schools, for example, right? The creation of public schools was based on creating a pathway for people to be smart enough to work in factories. That's the only reason that shit exists. We need y'all to be able to be smart enough to make this machinery in these factories go.
Yeah, but not too smart, though. Don't be creative.
It's not about being smart at all.
Don't get creative.
It's about being smart enough to work these machines.
Right.
It's smart enough to be fit in as a cog in our wheel. That's the only value you have.
Right.
Just like Malcolm say, you're a fool if you think your oppressor is going to educate your child. Nobody's going to educate you into power.
Why would you?
Right? That's just dumb. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all we want you to be is smart enough to operate as a cog within this wheel.
That's it.
Well, now the wheel is changing form. We don't need you to be smart enough to operate in the car because we don't need you in the wheel. You understand what I'm saying? But the very nature of human, right? The very nature of human, there's this innate curiosity, this desire to know. You know what I mean? Now, that doesn't look like any systemic or system-wide kind of construct.
Sure.
It doesn't because we all guided by different interests, by whatever that innate thing is. It pushes us, right? I got cousins that love music all our lives. I like music. But when you get around somebody who loves music, you realize this shit ain't that important to me. I don't want to sit in this basement all day for 18 hours listening to this shit. I'll go crazy.
Right.
You understand? But that was all he needed. And I could say somebody would probably look at me the same way with a pen and a pencil.
Yeah.
I don't need you. I could shut the whole world off if I just got something to make marks with. You understand what I'm saying? So I had a different driver. You know what I mean? But the very essence of that creativity being the anchor point in driving our education is dulled down by systemic understandings of education. You know what I mean? But it's how the goddamn system stays afloat. Right? So it's only, I think today it's only like less than 5% of the American population is entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Right? So nobody's striking out on their own. Everybody's funneling into the system.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because safety.
There you go.
And because we're cowards, and because we've been conditioned, and our conditioning is so strong that we are afraid to step beyond the folds or the barriers of what people say is wrong and right. Think about even how we have conversations in here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just 2 days ago, I don't even know what I said, but they were like, that barrier, it's behind you now.
Mm-hmm.
You step way past the line. Whose line?
Right.
Fuck your line.
Right.
That ain't my line.
Right.
Me saying Mythical Sky Daddy on air is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Only if I'm confined to the normalities of said system.
Right.
Give a fuck about what you think about what you think I think about your Mythical Sky Daddy. I don't care.
Right.
But I'm also not controlled by your economic system.
Mm-hmm. But that's where the problem becomes, right? So you talk about it being, a safety, so out of fear, and it's that coward thing in us that keeps you from saying, you know what, I believe in me more than I believe in white supremacy, or more than I believe. You know what I mean? Like you don't believe in yourself enough, and so it's like, nah, I better go work this job, and because I don't think that I could. I don't know what your job is. Whatever. Let's just pick a number, right? Let's 1,500 every 2 weeks. I don't think I can make 1,500 every 2 weeks on my own. So let me go work this job that I don't fucking like so I can make my 1,500, right? Or I don't believe that I can sustain myself without $1,500.
But it's the fear of the journey, bro.
That's what I'm saying, G.
It's the fear of being opposite, right?
But if you tapped into yourself, you can't fucking tell me that I can. You can't tell me that. Like if whatever the number is you're trying to hit,
it's the work attached to the journey, though, bro.
Right.
Look, I'm a college graduate.
If that number comes within that work, good. But if that number has to come outside of that work, that is where you need to make a change.
But again, it's the journey over the destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's the journey over the destination,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and I only say it's to say, but it's a commitment. Like, I got a cousin that's a producer down there with good music, right? He didn't get to the good music door until he was 39 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Up until that point, maybe 0 to 18, everybody like, go. 20 to 38, the fuck is you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of failures in 38 from the outside looking in.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But at 38, he lands where he finds value.
Exactly.
And a lot of,
but it was the stick-to-itiveness though.
But he found value in the journey itself. And once he gets to the good music conversation, he realizes like, this ain't really what moved me.
Mm-hmm.
The music moves me.
All right.
This positioning don't really move me. I appreciate it. It validates me in the eyes of everybody else.
Yeah,
but I was valid even before I got here.
Yeah, cool.
You understand?
Yeah.
But that's a journey that most people aren't willing to take because from 20 to 38, right, you are operating outside of the social norm.
Mm-hmm.
You look like the ain't shit nigga. You too old to be a rapper. You too, i.e. whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I told somebody the other day, G, like my first car out of college was I had a Cutlass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A Cutlass that got stole 5 times from me.
Mm-hmm.
While my homies was buying condos and Infinities and had a Cutlass, but I had a different goal.
Mm-hmm.
Now in that circle of friends out there, I'm sure this nigga get this ragged ass Cutlass.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't fit into the mix, but I had a bigger vision. I've always had at least for me in my mind.
Yeah.
I want something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be confined by 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. I don't want to live in this kind of a muck, right? Now, that has given me a life worth of experiences that's different than most of my friends who go into work in corporate spaces, right? Even if I don't equate to the same money in every instance, I've had a life of experiences that most of them can't say they've had, right? When they need help today, they call me because I got access that they don't have. It's just the journey was a different journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was okay to walk outside the confines of what you deem is acceptable because you don't define my value.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Nah, you can't. Not unless I allow you to.
Period.
And I refuse. Me personally, I refuse. You just not you're not gonna place that value on me. You're not gonna be like, okay, Herb, you're worth this much, and because of that, you're gonna trade me your most valuable resource, X amount of hours a week. No, I'm not, fam. I'm not. Unless, again, if what you are doing is aligned with your purpose, and if that is the thing that lights your soul on fire, and that's the thing that you enjoy to do, and it brings you that financial security, good. That is the sweet spot. in a capitalist society. I get you can say what the whole thing is flawed, but in a capitalist society, that's the sweet spot. Is the thing I'm passionate about, is the thing that sets my soul on fire, also the thing that affords me a comfortable life. If it is, great. But if you're trading the thing that lights your soul on fire for a paycheck doing something that does not light your soul on fire, you should reconsider that thing, G. But I'm just like, you should reconsider it.
Well, part of the conversation with the food thing for the kids and CPS, to understand the poverty and just the society that now we've inherited because wealth is calcifying. All of these conversations are right now in our space and place and time are changing, right? You're not going to be able to, there is no such thing as a sweet spot anymore, right? Me and my wife is having a conversation right now because we want to sell it. Well, she wants to move. And because that's my wife, that's what the fuck is gonna happen. We're gonna move. You understand?
What you said a couple months ago? A woman operating in her full femininity, she ain't gotta ask you for shit. You just go do it.
That's how this shit's gonna play out. I don't have no say in this shit. We're moving. You understand me? It is what it is.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Now, I love the low end. Love it for the kind of life that I live. You understand? And my wife don't live the life I live.
Right.
Her whole sanctions is in the house. Yeah. Everything revolves around the crib.
All right.
Right? So, crib we live in, we can get a good number.
Sure you could.
Right? Now, it's only it might have been a good number 20 years ago. It looks like a good number today because of just how numbers work. But when you compare it and contrast it to the rest of the world or where we want to be, the number ain't shit. If I want to stay in the city, and I want to go deeper into the low end to get the kind of crib that I want, which is in the, i.e., quote unquote, a middle class neighborhood, right? That shit costs $1.5 million. It starts at like 800,000, right? But the ones that I like is between 900 and 1.5. Middle, what the fuck middle is that? Right? So now that to get that kind of a house, in order to have that, I can't have the amenities of said city. If 1.5 is the middle ground or lower middle,
be clear.
Upper poverty, think of that shit. Upper poverty, lower middle is $1.5 million. 900,000 and $1.5 million.
Sure.
That shit, we as a people, us, we're not in that world. We're not in that conversation.
Right.
So that sweet spot is about to dissipate. It's gone. You're not invited to the party no more. Right? So now for me to get that kind of a house, she talking about moving to goddamn, she named some neighborhood. I ain't never heard of this shit. It's so far south. Like, I'll struggle to be here. You understand what I'm saying? She named some other communities around White.
You can't ride your bike downtown from there?
I can't ride my bike downtown and that's uncomfortable for me.
I knew one of your biggest hang-ups with it.
It's a hang-up.
I understood.
You know what I'm saying?
I knew it. Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, I don't have no say in the matter again. You know what I mean? I realize that. So I'm about to compromise some shit. But just looking at the conversation and saying, damn, man, for me to have this kind of a home, I got to be somewhere I really don't want to be. Around people that I really don't want to be around. Around amenities that not the kind of amenities that I appreciate. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're creating a world where you cannot function. You got that total control.
I dig it.
Total, no matter what, unless it's either you're at the very top or it's the bottom. Those are the only options you're going to have.
Ain't no middle no more, fam. We are going to take a break. When we come back from break, we're going to discuss young man who found a way to capitalize on his circumstances. The circumstances being that he came out of the vagina of a woman who is one of the leading executives in the world. And he found a way to twerk that for himself. And because he has the right skin complexion, it ain't going to cost him shit. We'll have that conversation on the other side of this break. This is I Said What I Said. Howard and Toussaint for another hour. We'll be right back.
WIFTPM. Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek-letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Yeah. Look, feel me whether you like it. My talent disrupts the balance of malice, cause I'm a titan. When writing thunder and lightning, I'm Adrian with the Vikings. I'm Reggie Bush in New Orleans, a future lion. Fuck who compliant. Niggas complacent, they place in places they hate, cause the chance of a clean escape was as small as a wheel on skates. But I'm focused, cause I done got some real blessings. Remember, I'm from the hood, so I done learned some real lessons about bitches and how they fake, niggas and how they bitches consume with their own emotions, confusing friends with the soldiers. I'm human, so Lord forgive them. They know not what they doing. My original sin to give them 4 shots till they ruined. Then I'm back to my family, back to chasing this Grammy. I'm back to the old E, yeah, back to the old me. Don't get it conflicted. My sense of minutes a list, it's a balance of time restriction. So balance the time that's given, I give it, so don't abuse it. I take it back and you lose it, cause giving these cool acoustics, I give you more than you used to. So my job's completed, cause once I spit, I'm depleted. Perfection's a large cost, imagine what I've deleted. I'm great. Niggas ain't used to lyrics and spirit, it drive me cuckoo, cause all I hear is the boo-boo. How they rockin' designer, driving whips that was foreign, ignoring the real fact. Them raps is real whack, they lack sensible knowledge. They like a shoe, never polished. Attention was 3 dimensions and only 2 for a novice. Wasn't shit without the 3. You niggas is Craig Hodges, collages, or garbage rappers. They stuck, but they hardly trappers. I'm back.
When I eat, my brother's name is Eric. We love PlayStation. When I beat him in 2K, he say they cheap, but that's just hate. And yeah, the ladies love me, but I'm ace, so ain't no dating. I don't hold no hands and kiss on the list is where they waiting. Indiana, yeah, I pay some AKA and I space. I'm clean the rapper like my curry. Set the screen and watch me lace. Got bars, right to start. Type my swag straight from Mars, like I came from out this world and made a home, but like Kamar Dre. Slice to him, I'm nice, give him a slice. I take just throw me on the beat and take a seat and watch the showcase. I'm awesome, ain't no slow pace. Hot just like them low states. Be shining, you could see me in the dark just like them glow cakes. For your sake, I make ease up. Sight that won't suffice. And since I'm nice and small advice, go get to work, boy, roll your sleeves up. Eli.
I was made for this. I was raised for this. I was made for this. I was raised for this. I was made for this.
Well, my name is B.E. Wrap around a circle like a CD. By the chump a whole piano. B. Ray Charles and couldn't see me. I'm the feces, yeah, I'm well before my time, just like a preemie. And Elijah, that's my son. You mess with him, you'd have to free me. On another note, I'm a double dose, so rope long coats and a thunderbolt. The game keep wet rappers like a Moses boat, but I can pack fake beef like a Clover's loaf. My blows is low, my foe, he rolls his souls and those spit flash, shake up Coca-Cola. Yeah, I'm attached like a brand new road with toes and make it clear like you listen to my foes or bows, so you can put me on your playlist. Should be the first there, like a day shift. Yeah, ghost right, need tips like a waitress. Put it on my calendar, I put you on my wait list. Give your floor a facelift. Don't steal, I'm an nappy-headed child with a fro. Yeah, I hate pics. Touch one of mine, yeah. Hope that you can take licks. 400 proof, better hope that you can take sips.
Dad, this is my song. You can't rap in this.
Oh well, drop the beat then.
And we are back. We are live from inside the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint. My name is Herb. Appreciate y'all so very, very much for being here in the production studio, doing all of the hard work behind the glasses. The one and only Ron Riller. Ron, you good in there, my brother?
I'm great.
Glad to hear it, man. So the first track that we heard was my cousin Eric, man. He was on that track. But then I wasn't expecting to hear the other track, which I've heard before, in which my nephew is rapping. And he was 8 when they made this song. And so I'm hearing this voice. I'm like, that's my nephew. I don't know. Wait, where you get that one from?
Killing it.
It's on the same SoundCloud.
Oh well, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was interesting to hear, man. Anyway,
I missed it, but they raving about it on YouTube.
It was cool. It was cool to hear his voice, this little voice on that track. His father is my cousin, and so I guess really Eli is my cousin, but he's more like my nephew. He's also my godson. But anyhow,
I got cousins that's too young to call cousins.
It's my nephew, man. Plus his daddy's more like my brother than my cousin anyway. But so it was cool to hear my nephew on that track. But his father Eric is one of my favorite rappers, man. But I can't get him to rap, bro. Like that.
Why?
Because capital.
Right.
Because capital.
If I'm not getting paid for it, it don't have no value.
He somewhere on that same album, he got a line to say, I made $250,000 off of cable. I do this shit for the free. Like, and he did. He does. Like he's an executive for one of those companies. And you know, music ain't doing that. But he's one of my favorite. I was on the phone with him for like 3 hours last night, just listening to music. And I was like, this song is fire. I'm gonna play this on my show every day. And he was like, I don't care. I don't do nothing with it. Well, I'm gonna do something with it because I love that song. It's called I'm Back, and it's on his album. It's called Inevitable from like 2014. I don't know if like he gets on my nerve. Dude gets on my nerves because he be spazzing and he don't be doing it. But anyhow, shout out to him.
Even that, right? I gotta validate doing something I love because it doesn't create equity.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I value cable over doing what I love because it creates equity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Shit sounds insane to me.
That's the conversation that we were just having, right? I've been at him for forever on this thing, man. And it really dawned on me because I came across one of his old CDs and I just started bumping it in my car. I didn't even know. I had to check and see if my car had a CD player. Like I didn't even know that there was a place for CDs to go. I was like, oh yeah, it is one here. And I was playing an old CD. And so he was like, man, my favorite CD is this one. And so we set up last night on FaceTime, listening to this whole thing over and over again. I just keep replaying the songs, man. But anyway, shout out to my cousin, man. Even though he gets on my damn nerve by not rapping. He a 95th dude too. He a 95th Street dude too. He got a bunch of 95th Street lines in there, and one of the
where on 95th Street.
I don't know. One of the Stones over there by House. They all get on my nerve. they all get on my nerves.
They get on my nerves too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They him, all his guys, his younger guys, his OGs. They get on my nerve, all of them.
Yeah, my little girlfriend, high school girlfriend, was in that area.
Yeah,
had a lot of conflicts over there.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, but yeah, he from everywhere. He from over east too, but that's where he ran next. That's where his grandparents stayed at. So anyhow, on his father's side. But anyhow, Anna Herbert, I think is her name. Oh, he's still here. Shout out to you for
Eric
playing
Burke,
it, bro.
What up, though?
Nah, no 097. Look at him. No shout out to me for playing it. I didn't do that for you. You don't even care. Playing it because I like the song.
My email.
Get on my nerve. Make some more songs.
Hey, but my email is Toussaint095. So
I know. Why you talking? Why you talking? But nah. Yeah, whenever you want to make some more heat, bro, just go ahead and do it. Also, Shaka said that y'all could put our cars on the bike racks and drive into the city, and then y'all can ride through it together.
Yeah, so I got a plan already.
Shaka, he'll be having y'all riding down whatever that road is that leads right into like Danville. I don't know what that actual road is called.
Frontage road.
Yeah, it's a little highway, whatever it is, but I don't know what it's called. Where you can just keep going straight when it's time to split. Like
I got a plan. My wife don't know what she get into.
Okay.
Trust and believe.
All right.
if we that far out, I can't be around that much. You know what I mean? Not like that. I mean, I'm just saying my life is in the city. You know what I mean?
I believe it.
So once I bounce, I'm gone. You understand me?
I see y'all next week.
Take my bike with me and I'm out.
Whatever, man.
See y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not partaking.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
Anyhow, I think the lady's name is like Anna or Ann Herbert or something. I had saw it earlier, and I don't even care to get it right for real. I think it's Anna Herbert or Ann Herbert, something like that. Either way, she's a former executive at Nike, and her son, who is 19 years old, used her account to purchase untold amounts of Nikes.
Not untold. It's $132,000 worth of Nikes.
Right.
It's not untold.
And
her name is Ann Herbert.
Okay. $132,000 worth of Nikes at their retail price through his mom's account, to which he's then going to turn into at least $500,000. Conservative estimate, $500,000. Right? Because like we said, you get these shoes at retail price, $250, $300 even. You can flip some of them for $5, $10, $15 grand. Right? So conservative estimate, he can flip that 132 to $500,000, no problem. Well, if he were smart, and he is smart enough to do that, because I don't have a problem with the concept and the idea of him using his circumstance, his privilege, his influence to start his business. I can dig it. On some levels, I can respect it and salute it. But here is where you need your hood shit, fam. You can't just be on the internet showing your whole display. There's pictures, and shout out to the brother Howard Trout who sent the pictures, or who posted the pictures up. I mean, you can't just be on there with your whole inventory, literally sitting on stacks of boxes of shoes. All these Jordans and retro Nikes and all this. Like, fam, you are wilding right now. And of course, once Nike found out, they showed his mama the door. Like, you gotta go. You can't have you in here, right? Your son is taking our shoes and selling them. That's
so I don't know what this breakdown is. So I just pulled up the article in the New Yorker, and the New Yorker says that the way he was found out is because Bloomberg Business Week published an article on the brother, on the son, right? And they said that he spent $132,000 with this one incident, but he's already emerging in the sneaker culture world as one of the top guys.
Of course, he has direct access to all of Nike's inventory.
Right, his mama was a Nike executive for 25 years, so they getting money. They've been getting money for a while.
Hey, fam.
Yeah. So, but the name of the company is West Coast Streetwear. It's owned by Mr. Herbert's son, Joe Herbert, 19, who buys large amounts of highly sought after footwear such as Yeezy Jordans for resale.
One re-up, you spent $132,000.
Right. So in this, though, they said that in this article, and I don't know if this is the breakdown, it says the article said that at one point Mr. Herbert and his team had spent $132,000 on hundreds of shoes and was able to resell them for a $20,000 profit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's low.
Way low.
That's way low.
You don't steal $132,000 worth of anything to make $150,000. That's just stupid.
Yeah, but it's a lick though. You know what I mean? Then
in any game, you buy for $1, sell for $2. Like,
hard to find models can sell for hundreds of tens of thousands of dollars. For instance, a pair of Yeezy's Red October shoes can be sold for over $15,000 right now.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that shoe market is interesting. But it's really interesting because it's all based on the same shit though, right? Like, why a pair of Red October Yeezys worth $15,000? Why? Like, logically, why? You can't. They don't have any intangible value, right? It costs $1.50 to make that shoe, and now they're worth $15,000.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a 150 million% upsell on that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, but that's also based in the
But
construct.
people,
we create value sets. For
anybody who puts it
everything.
on their feet is like, yo, I got these on my feet. I feel valuable. Never mind if they're ugly. Now, I know somebody who gets them all for free, right? Who get that ugly ass shoe for free.
I can get Yeezys for free too. I'm not interested.
And
but
that person is like, that shoe ugly as fuck. Like, you know, it's part of what I do, but that shit ugly as hell. But you know, people find value in things they find value in, right? And other people are like, nah, that shit is stupid, but whatever. That being said, man, listen, I ain't mad at the move. He just executed poorly. He had to understand that you got to do this in relative anonymity, bro. You trying to be a star, right? And really, I'm a rich kid. I've been a rich kid my whole life.
This is one of the images of homie right now. If you can pull up my computer, I got it up. And these are the Travis Scott Jordans, which I know you can get up to like 9,000 on them joints right now.
Nah, somebody said 15 earlier. What just happened? Oh, I see what happened. I tweaked.
But he's probably sitting in front of like 200, 300 pair of those right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but that's the thing. If it's not about money for him. This is just his way of playing the game and being a celebrity, right? You've been rich your whole life. If it was about money, you would have just stayed in the background, made all your bread. You want to be famous. You want to flex with all your shoes and all your pictures. Just sell them, fam. You know what I'm saying? Just sell them.
But it's insider trading, though. It's like having the
right
understanding of the stock market.
Do that and shut up.
And you're not supposed to. Yeah.
You don't come out and be like, yo, I know that Enron is finna go belly up. You know what I mean? Like you don't do that kind of thing. You just sell it. But you little rich kid. And so, you know, you want the attention more than the money. Money don't mean you was.
But in a lot of ways,
your mama had been executive at Nike 6 years before you was born.
Well, here's a different way to look at that, though. In this new emergent society, we have the attention becomes the capital, right? So the attention is what equates to the money. Like the homie I told you the other day when he sent me the email, like 2 of it ain't online, it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I'm not of that world.
Yeah,
but in this new environment that we're all inheriting,
that's what I'm saying.
How it works.
That's where he finds the value at. He finds the value in the clout and all this stuff about him being, you know, the sneaker guy or whatever. Like that's cool to him.
But stunting for social
the money
media
don't matter.
Creates another level of value for you too, though, from a business perspective. Right now, you know I'm here. Now you know I'm the guy. Now I can become the staple in this community where you only want to spend money. Now my name has more value attached to it too, right? So just think about like LA for example, right? I went to when you go to LA, if you go down to Fairfax, there's like 3 sneaker shoes. And I'm a sneaker guy, right? There's like 3 sneaker companies on Fairfax, shoe stores on Fairfax, right? One of them is called Flight School, I think it is. They the most popular 3, put it like that. You go in there, you find some black cement. At the time when I was there last time I was there, I had some black cement 3s on my feet. Because I got certain plugs for my black cement 3s, I didn't even pay store price. You know what I mean? I just had a plug. Go down there, they had the same black cement 3s on the shelves for like $600. And I know that you could have got them for store price at like $200.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Then they had the LeBron South Beaches in there for $1,000. I know these shoes don't cost more than $10 to make. You know what I mean? But they're getting it. And because it's at Flight School or whatever, it adds another level of allure to buying it from them. Same thing with homie. If you in Bloomberg, you start to get a certain rapport out here, you're going to become a staple in that community, and there's going to be another tax added to that. You know what I'm saying? It's like winning a Grammy as a producer. If you win a Grammy, your price goes up because now you're validated in that world. Same thing with homie. You know what I'm saying? So it's just another business move.
It's the brands, it's the labels, right? You put a name on it. Don't matter if this shoe go through the same process of being made as this other shoe. Once I put this label on it, this one is worth exponentially more than that one. You sell the name. That's just what it is. When I was in LA this weekend, I stayed at a place that has a well-known name, a prestigious one, right? And you know, I was on the phone with somebody, and they was like, "Hey, where are you standing out there?" I was like, "At this place." And he was like, "Well, what's in there? Like, let me see it." And I was like,
"It looked just like the Red Roof Inn, homie."
Look like pretty much the same shit, fam. Like it's some trinkets
with a balcony,
right? It's some trinkets, but it's there's a bed in here, and there's a toilet in here. Like you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? It's nice, but like you buying the name, right? You know what I mean? And it's dope, right? There the other experiences and stuff and how they act and all that. That's a you know a different level of whatever of service, whatever. But yeah, it's the what we attach to certain brands and shit. Like I was at another conversation talking about bags, purses. Like, yeah, no, I'm not buying a $6,000 purse. I'm not doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm not doing it with $500 million in my bank account. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. Now I like cars, right? And so if it's, you know, if it's my lady's, you know, whatever. If I want to get my lady a gift, oh, cool. I got $500 million. I'll get you like a Ferrari, but because I can see that I find that valuable. I'm not spending $6,000 on nothing.
What you will and won't do when you have that capability changes?
Here's what I'm saying, bro. Like there are things that are within my budget now that I'm just not. I don't find that valuable, fam. You know what I mean? Like I need a decent looking device to hold up my pants. That's it though. I don't need a $600 belt. I just need a belt. You know what I'm saying? Sure to look nice, sure to match my clothes, whatever. But I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff I can do right now. I'm not, no. Now there's other stuff that I value that other people like, that's stupid as hell. It's like, okay, well that's fine. I value that, so I'll spend on that. I'm just saying that preferences. Other people have their own. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that that's how people move and that's what creates these types of things. Somebody
you were talking about all persons not created equal.
I listen.
Hey,
listen.
I get it, man. Same way I feel about James, G. But you know,
I get it and respect it. I ain't knocking it. I'm just talking about me.
But I recognize it as a sickness, right? This is how capitalism has infused itself on me. This is where it's imposed its will on me, right? When I was in L.A. and them South Beach LeBrons was $1,000, I was trying to figure out how I could get them joints and sneak them back into the crib without my old lady seeing them. $1,000 for a pair of J's. That's ridiculous for me. And I know there's people spending way more money than that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it, man. It's an addiction. It's an addiction to a lifestyle that we've all been, you know, exposed to. It happens. You know what I mean? I don't see the value in no purse. I get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not in that world. But the same people can say I don't see the value in having.
Yeah, there are things that I've spent more money on than somebody would think is valuable. I get it. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm just saying. That was just an example I was giving about me. Like, nah, I ain't on that, fam. You know? She talking about you can buy a $20 purse 1,000 times, or you can buy a Louis purse once every 5 to 10 years.
That's not the same breakdown. I don't even think who's buying 1,000 purses.
I don't know, but she's comparing it to a $20,000 Louis purse.
I know I did this. I bought my wife a fake Louis, but I bought it from China in China.
Oh,
at the I don't even know
right outside the Louis plant.
Yeah, I don't know how you quantify what's fake and not. You know what I'm saying? But this was dope. I bought it back. She's like, nah. I bought like 4 of them boys back. She's like, nah, I'm straight. They still in the closet. They still look brand new. My daughter be walking around with them now. Like, man, you better use that shit.
Yeah, I don't even have a wallet, bro. Like, I mean, I have one, but it sits in my drawer. I leave the house every day with the same thing.
Shaka talking about Ferragamos. Let me tell you, I put y'all on game too, right? I don't know if this still happens, but in Kentucky used to be like a shoe hub for America. Right, for dress shoes. I got a pair of deerskin Ferragamos, real Ferragamos for $20 in Bluefield, West.
You said deerskin?
Deerskin.
Okay.
Ferragamos, and I can't even name the city in Kentucky, but it's Kentucky, and this is like a normal thing in Kentucky because it's like one of the shoe hubs of America. So yeah, I got some Ferragamos. I think I paid like $40 for them joints at best. They're sweet too, super sweet.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a thing. But somebody asked, I think it was Devin, asked earlier, how is this not, talking about the case of Ann Herbert's son, how is this not hella indictments and felonies and everything else?
Even Michelle says, would I wear some fake J's?
No.
I don't have to.
I remember I got played on some fake J's sometime one day. I was in college. I ordered some offline. When you're in Carbondale, you end up ordering lots of offline because you have one of two options. You can go to You can drive up to St. Louis to shop, or you wait till you come back home and shop. Because in Carbondale, ain't nowhere to shop. There was one store in the mall that you could find like a decent pair of jeans or a shirt. A store called Buckle, and that was like the only place where you could even almost stumble upon something decent. So you ordered a lot of stuff offline. Ordered some J's offline. They showed up. Not J's, fam. I mean, they look like J's, and you know, if I wasn't a Jay Walker, then I might not have known, but I did know. I'll say this though. Randomly, this might have been like a year later. It might have just been some months later. I don't even remember. But randomly, I got an alert, and then I got a check that said, you know, this people was fraud and people, you know what I'm saying, it was fraud and all this, and they just, you know, sent me a check for the J's and a hoodie I had bought or something like that. But anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Fake J's.
Yeah, I get it, you know, but I'm not saying it's healthy. I know I'm sick.
I'm aware of my illness.
They were Toussaint Werner, and I have a problem.
Right. Hey, first step to recovery, baby.
It's a man, you know what I'm saying?
Hermes purses can get up to $250,000. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they got some like this. Yeah, I remember there was a person. Where was she at? Was she in? She might have been. I don't know. Oprah was somewhere, and I can't remember which store she was in. It might have been.
And they locked their ass out.
They wouldn't.
They should have locked their ass out.
The cashier at whatever place she was at, I don't remember which one it was. The cashier tells Oprah Winfrey,
"Your ass out.
You can't afford that one." Oprah's in there shopping. She gets to the counter. You know, they got the $250,000 purses up on the thing at the top, and Oprah like, I want to see that one. And the cashier told Oprah Winfrey, no. Now, I didn't know who Oprah Winfrey was, right? But they just told her, like, nah, you can't afford that. I'm not getting that one down, right? You know what I mean? You can't afford that one. Oprah ended up calling, like, the CEO of whatever, and I would have bought that person if I was Oprah. I'd have bought you. Now, I can't afford that bag. I can afford you, though. You ain't worth as much as that bag. Now, you work for me now. Now you.
So I appreciate that.
You scrub the concrete before I put my foot down. Everywhere I go. That's what you do.
I appreciated they locked Oprah's ass out. I appreciated it.
Okay.
Right.
Why?
I still appreciate it.
Why?
Because it speaks to the same thing, right? I think Oprah is part of that dark-skinned, white contingency of black people. You know.
Catrice said that she was trying to buy an Hermes scarf. Okay, cool.
Either way, bless her heart. Glad they locked your ass out.
Why you glad they locked out again?
I don't necessarily like Oprah.
No, I get it.
Oprah fits in the Obama category for me. And I like it when all them niggas get to reminded that they niggas. I like it. I don't care. Maybe it's me.
No, I can appreciate that, what you're saying. Like, at the end of the day, still nigga, right? It's the OJ song. You know what I mean?
Get your black lips out of here.
Right. Hate my gums because they
my
black.
gums because they black.
Sealy. Jesus.
Back of your neck.
I hate Oprah Winfrey's lips.
I hate Oprah Winfrey's lips. Whoopi Goldberg's black gum.
Yo, R.I.P. to the GOAT, man. Bernie Mac, hilarious. That's good stuff. So anyway, why you don't think no charges came from him? Is it just the obvious reason, right? He's a white man.
They don't get charged.
Right. Period. It ain't that deep.
The law's not set up.
It ain't
for
that
them.
deep.
You
So
know
they
what
can put the story out all over the country and just completely neglect to say anything
He's
about
To
charges.
get money. That's what he's about to do.
Yeah.
He's about to get money, and they're gonna have a TV series about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. What about Governor Abbott down in Texas? I think his name is Governor Abbott. I could be making that up. I think that's true though. Governor Abbott down in Texas, lifting the mandate on wearing masks in the state of Texas. He was like, yeah, we done with it. We straight. Anglo-Saxons, doctors, mathematicians. How you feel about that? I think that the pandemic, in terms of people behaving as scientists and medical professionals suggest, I think that had a shelf life of about a year. And we're up on that. And Texas was just going to be the first person to be like, yeah, fuck it, fam. Like, everybody going to catch it, and you either going to die or you ain't. But we are tired of having our cerebral liberties of being able to raw dog air being taken from us.
Texas is always going to be Texas. You know what I mean? Like, they different. You know what I mean? But Georgia was already on it. Florida was already on it. You know what I mean? There's a report came out the other day, like, Trump secretly got the vaccine. Trump and Melania secretly got the vaccine before they left the White House.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a whole campaign about how this wasn't even a real thing. I don't need this. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. But hey, man, you know, maybe I'm one of those conspiracy theorists, right? So it just interesting.
Can't you talk about in Texas?
It's interesting to me as the government changes form, as we, you know, open the doors to a new administration, how the death toll is slowed. You're starting to hear about lies that even Cuomo was telling in New York. You know, you're starting to hear about different stuff. Right, and it's not just the death toll here in America. It's like the death toll nationwide. I just heard a study today that said America was number one in regards to the most deaths. America was number one. And America being the world leader that America is, that's always going to be a troubling kind of a concern. Brazil is like a strong number two, but Brazil is, you know, very, very impoverished in comparison to America. So you would expect certain things to happen in Brazil with a worldwide pandemic that you wouldn't expect in America. But the effects that it's had on America, it's funny to me to see how it's kind of subsided as this new administration walks into office. That's amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also...
But we knew it would.
And also just understanding that the people that it directly affected at the greatest lengths or at the greatest levels, those are the people, the lepers of society that most white patriarchal systems that are about to implement some level of economic control over. Those are the people you got to get rid of, right? I do not need the elderly sucking up this Social Security, right? I don't need the overweight and indigent.
Who's expendable?
Who's expendable? Get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens all the time. This is not a new, and I'm not saying the pandemic was that. I'm just saying it looks strange. You know
it's tough for me to disagree with you. Anytime somebody talks about a conspiracy theory about this government, it is hard for me to just dismiss it offhand. Because nothing about their history allows me to give them that sort of trust.
I just heard some shit about St. Louis the other day.
What about?
Like the damn FBI and Army was testing these damn murderous gases on black people in St. Louis in the damn 70s and 80s.
I'm sure.
Like they showed they you know how you see them old films where they would come by with the plane and they would drop all these gases on people.
Yeah.
So in St. Louis, what they did was they went to the top of like churches and smaller mid-sized buildings, and they put these like fan kind of things up. They still located all over the city of St. Louis. They didn't even take the fans. They still there.
Who gonna check me?
They still there, and they was just doing a documentary on how they were spraying all these chemicals out to the St. Louis population.
Wow.
This shit is the evidence is still.
Just
They
running
didn't take the evidence.
Who gonna check me?
Like
fam?
fuck y'all, we did it. What you gonna
Can
do
you whip
about
my
it?
ass though?
What can you whip my ass though? I mean, like, so to think that you above that, or we above that, or society's above that, no.
What happened to you? I mean, you talk about these chemtrails and stuff you see in the sky. What made that? I don't know, but you should be concerned about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just. But can you whip my ass though? Is the real question.
Yeah, can you whip
and
my
you
ass,
can't.
though?
If you can't, then it is what it is. They're offering a vaccine in Port Arthur to anyone that can get there. My best friend drove down from Houston and was vaccinated in an hour.
Yeah, I ain't getting vaccinated. I
Yeah.
think that's part two.
Yeah, I'm straight.
Yeah, I'm cool, man.
I'm
I told
good.
Sadiq said,
Yeah.
this is the perfect engine. The body is the perfect engine. You just got to put the right fuel in it.
Fuel
in it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So we shall see about that thing. I just think that people are just tired of the pandemic in general, the financial ramifications, the social ramifications, everything. People just kind of like sick of it. And I understand. I say that with all due sensitivity to the fact that we've lost so much life from this thing. But I always question, we still see way more people have died in the last year from heart disease or from, breast cancer. Why don't we shut the world down and solve none of this shit?
Because the sickness is more profitable.
Exactly. There's the money.
Right.
There's money in
but
that.
But even outside of the illness being more profitable, G, I think the way the pandemic worked, at least the coronavirus pandemic, is that, again, we got to understand that we're entering into a new understanding of society.
Mm-hmm.
We are there. We're at the cusp. We just happen to be born at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
We're at the cusp of society changing form,
Mm-hmm.
right? we know that most industries you're basically locked out of. They don't need employment anymore.
Yeah, nothing changed the world like the internet. Not the will, not fire.
Well, that only depends about perspective, right? Because those people who had the Chicago public school, I mean, not Chicago public schools, but public school in general was about working in a factory. Well, when that came about, that changes the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the people living at the cusp of that era was like, oh shit, everybody's about to get employed.
Mm-hmm.
Changed the world, right? When that gave black people their only economic engine in the history of black people in America.
Mm-hmm.
That changed the world for black people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we created an idea of our identity around that one changing of the world, and now we're entering into that second or third or fourth phase of the world changing.
What the internet did, though, is while simultaneously giving you the illusion that everybody is connected and everybody is, connected in a way that allows you to reach, while it creates this illusion that everybody's included now, what it really does is make everything smaller. There's only a few people at the top because we don't need nobody else now. We can get everything done through this machine. We don't need nobody to be no middleman. We don't need you to be no couriers.
We
don't
one
need
engineer
nothing.
to be a dispatcher, and the rest of that, he can control up to 1,000 whatever.
You used to have to go to 100 different stores to get everything you can get off Amazon. One click.
Now it
Boom.
come to your door.
Boom. And we drop it off at your door, fam.
And think about that. The more comfortable you become, right? Just like I said, the cowardice of not facing fears, you become comfortable and more comfortable. And now
we're going to find ways to make this convenient.
Your whole existence is based in that little small space that you're anchored into, whatever that is, that apartment, that house, whatever it is.
Somebody's in here like cooking like pot roasting, like cornbread or something. You smell that?
Nah, I got a bad sense of smell. I don't smell nothing.
Somebody's in here like really getting busy on something. I don't know what that, like, I don't know. I can't believe the microwave is even making that noise. I feel like we got a stove out there now. Anyhow, what about, so we talked about the governor. I'm trying to think there was one more thing we wanted to hit on, and it escapes me. But COVID is what COVID was.
Trump 2024.
Right. That was the thing.
Yeah. He said, can you name another Republican that could beat me? And if I'm being honest.
First of all, he already has half the country. I've already got 70 million votes secured. Mm-hmm. And after Biden and Kamala finish fucking up what they finna fuck up, he probably gonna have another 10 or 15 more. So I can see it. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think they're gonna let him get back in power like that. But I can certainly see it. That being said, hopefully a better candidate emerges.
Well, it's not about whether or not they will allow him to get back in power. Again, this is about being at the cusp of that changing understanding of our social dynamic, that changing society, right? So we tend to think of this from the perspective of being black and being left out of the economic fold.
Yeah.
Because that's just our experience.
Yeah.
But when you look at the vast majority of America, right, the money is being made, specifically in this kind of industry, on the coast, either, on the far East Coast or the far West Coast. Those white folks work in them digital spaces. Everybody in between, which is the vast majority of this country, are also being left out of that financial conversation. We're being left out of the economic divide of America. You're being left behind. So Trump has the ear of those people. And just like we saw on January 6th when they raided the Capitol building, those people respond differently to the change in space that we're in. Mm-hmm. So if they buy into Trump, and that's who those people were, who bought into his ideology, even though it's a false ideology even from him, right? Those people will take this country to war against itself because we're being left out. And I don't even deem them as being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't deem them as being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have their ear.
For sure.
And there's viability.
They loyal to him.
There's viability behind that because we know that them people are unlike us, will walk through that idea. They'll follow it through.
They willing to go to jail or die about the shit.
They willing to go to the end of the road for it. You know what I mean? So there's power attached to that. You know what I mean? And it might not be in regards to him getting elected, but into him destabilizing the region. Shit, I see it as a possibility.
Oh, I see it as a possibility. I don't think it's gonna happen, but a possibility, sure. Ron, is that your food I'm smelling?
It's Mary's food.
You capping on Mary because you don't want Sadiq to know you eating pie roast?
I wouldn't lie to you. Man.
Yes, you would. That's why you said I was snitching when I said you had catfish last week.
The month of March is over with. I mean, the month of February is over with.
Also, you done?
I'm done with that.
You back on the animal?
Until April.
What we taking a month off for? What are we doing?
It's Sadiq's plan.
Sadiq told you to take a month off He said go eat all the animal you want for a month and then come back.
You know he ain't say go eat no animal. We just said, we can break it a little bit until April.
I respect it, man. Yeah, whatever. I think it's just something I'm just gonna do regularly now. But like I told Sadiq earlier, when I get the urge to walk into the place and be like, yo, let me get 6 wings, salt, pepper, hot and mild, then I'm just gonna go in there and say, let me get 6 wings, salt, pepper, hot and mild. Although Sadiq said they're in partnership right now with Harold's to bring like a vegan option to Harold's where you can go in there and get like 6 vegan wings. I don't know what that looks like.
Wings.
Hey, I don't know what that looks like. I've been eating vegan tacos and vegan cheeseburgers for a couple months now, so whatever.
I think this new world we finna inherit is gonna have us all socialize different. I think we're gonna be eating different. I think we're gonna be living different. All of it.
It's becoming a
6
necessity.
wings with mild sauce is not gonna be an offer anymore in the long watch because it's too costly on the environment. It's too costly on the economics. It's just life's finna change. It's changing as we speak.
Yeah, you got to find the changes that are for the better versus the other ones. They exist. They are out there for you.
But I think in that change, those at the bottom are going to experience a level of powerlessness that at least as Americans, we've never experienced.
Hey, my Uncle Ronaldo just came in, man. I ain't seen you in a minute. What's the word? Anyhow.
No, what up,
man. You talking about the whole full.
Sound like he was on the Sanford and Son show. He was supposed to be one
should
of the
have
characters.
He should have been. Whole full.
Uncle Ronaldo.
Whole full. Anyhow, you want to give some homework to the Iswiz family. There's something that's coming on tonight. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it's a show coming on tonight, man. I got to find it real quick. I think it's called The Soul of America, but I know Common is one of the narrators of the show. I don't know if he produced it or not, but when I saw the highlights from it, and this kind of just speaks to just our understanding of blackness, when I saw the promos for it, when I looked at it, it was like him, John Legend, Cynthia Erivo, nobody that I really go to understand blackness. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the movie about now?
And I think it comes on tonight, and I'm very interested to see how it positions black people in America. And I think that'd be an interesting conversation to have tomorrow because I'm almost 100% sure it's going to be some high-level fuckery.
All right, so what is it called and where can people watch it? You can't be giving people assignments and not telling them how to do their homework.
I'm trying to find it right now. Talk to these people, man.
All right, cool. Well, you try to pull that up. I will talk to Shannon RO. We have decided to read Walter Beach's book. What's the name of the book, bro?
I knew you was going to ask me that.
Who else would I ask?
I knew you was going to ask me that.
It's your godfather.
Yeah, but it's in the I Said What I Said book club. I don't know. I forget the name of the book.
You know what? Let me stick back to what I said. Shannon, RO, please.
Yeah, that's so much smarter.
What book are we reading and what day are we convening as a book club? I know it's third Thursday, so I think that is on the 18th of this month. Tell me if that is right. And the book that we are reading. Soul of America is what you're looking for. It's on ABC tonight.
Soul of America on ABC tonight.
Thanks, Mimi.
Jesus
Christ.
See how prepared we are?
Yeah. Soul of America on ABC tonight at what time?
Man, look.
9 p.m. Thank you, Kay. Kay, is that Central Time? I'm trying to make sure everybody can do their homework. I don't want nobody to come in tomorrow and say, I couldn't do my homework because I couldn't find it, or the dog ate it, or y'all didn't give me the right time on the right channel. It's on ABC, so it's regular.
It comes on Hulu too. So
regular broadcast television.
On ABC
or
Hulu. Hulu if you got Hulu.
Okay.
So Beach's book is called "Consider This" by Walter Beach.
Okay, "Consider This" by Walter Beach is
I
the
think
book.
you can cop the book at Walter.
Candace got a link for the show. Bueller wants to know how she can order the book. Go ahead.
I think you can cop the book at walterbeach.com. That's WALTERBEHCH.com.
All right. Let me put that into the chat and
let me make sure that's the right address. Let me check it out right now.
God, I hate you so much, man. God, I really hate this dude.
It's Soul of a Nation. That's the name of the show on ABC at 9.
Ain't that what we just said?
I don't know.
Okay, Soul of a Nation. Okay, Michelle.
Yes, it is. WalterBeach.com. You can cop the book there. Welcome to Walter Beach's bookstore. I think the book costs, let me see. We can find the cost of the book. And he will autograph all the books if you ask, if that's an ask you have.
Yeah, tell him you is with his family. We get you autograph copy.
Yeah, do that. He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, tell him Two sent you.
No, just say you was a fan of the show. You saw him on the show. Don't mention my name. It's $20. You know, supporting black business.
Super dope.
All that type of stuff.
Super dope. So we will do that. We'll get the book right off the website. The link is on the book club page for the for walterbeach.com. And then I think Candace also posted the link for the show tonight. I forgot, Soul of a Nation. Comes on ABC tonight at 9 p.m. I think it is Central Time. It may be Eastern.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
That's why the is with his fam is undefeated, man. You can't fuck with us. If I don't look, what's the line from How High when they was rolling up on some females and they was like, yo, can we roll with y'all? He's like, y'all got money? He was like, hell yeah, we got money. And if not, our best friends got dough. And if not, they best friends got dough. That's how I feel about this. Do I know? Hell yeah, I know. And if I don't know, two know. And if he don't know, Ron don't know. But the rest of the fam know. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Ron can look it up.
You could, but I asked you to look up porpoise last week, and you said Salim don't know what he's talking about, which
Soul of a Nation,
which is blasphemy and unheard of around these parts.
And you know what? I used to be just a sidebar about Soul of a Nation. Common used to be my favorite rapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because he was from 87th Street, and the shit just made it feel like home. You know what I mean?
You just liked him because he was with Erykah Badu, and she had him putting on.
I wasn't liking him for that. I was kind of jealous of that one. I wanted to smash too, but.
And you probably could have.
God willing, you know, but but I used to really dig.
Is she weird, fam?
I used to dig dude music, right?
Uh-huh.
But the older I get and the more he becomes a public voice, oh, he irritates the shit out of me.
Yeah.
He irritates the shit out of me.
Randy, what up, though?
Somebody else mentioned that John Legend irritates the shit out of them in the comments on YouTube, and I agree, he irritates me too. And that's why I think this Soul of a Nation is going to be very interesting. I'm tired of the Herschel Walker perspective of blackness. And I think in a lot of ways they grab a John Legend, they grab a Common, they grab these anomalies in our communities who really aren't versed in the topic other than, you know, their creative experience. And they become the voice of our people. You know, when there's people legitimately on deck who study this information, who's, you know, spend the entirety of their lives around how the disparities in America play out and affect black people. And these Mars come to the conversation with this, you know, I just feel like bullshit. Yeah. When we don't have to just feel like.
I ask you how you feel.
Data and factual information out there. Let's stop operating in our
feelings how you feel,
and start dealing with some facts.
Right.
And let's start empowering the people who have that information and who can speak truth to power.
Get your ass out the way, fam.
Yeah, you know, Common Mate, I used to love it, G. He ain't he did write a book about being molested. I was finna say, you know, my bad.
All right. We're back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us on this Tuesday edition of I Said What I Said. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us per usual. Wow. Y'all make sure y'all get up early, 6 a.m. for the Maze Jackson Show. Stick around for the Book of Dawn and then ascend into Muwai Kill's world before touching down on the soil with the bigs. We'll be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Ron Rilla and Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. Y'all be good to each other.
Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
WIIFTBPM.
Hey, Tool, let me test your work. Hey, Herb, let me test your work.
You about that life? I'm about that life. You ain't really about that life. Fuck with me. Really about that life? JC, spit a key. Let me test your work. Boss, you the boss? Let me test your work. Jeezy, you talking breezy? Let me test your work. Cam, you the man? Let me test your work. Dre and Snoop, like that chronic, I need something stronger. Molly cute, that's like an aspirin for my daughter. Big time, in the club with a case of Ace. And now I sniff that whole table. Scarface, another court case. I'm a frequent offender. When Wyclef was hot, I was gone to November. 6 years.
hard time. Bobby was fucking up, Whitney could have been mine. We would have been so high and so in love. When Amy Winehouse died, I could have saved her. I could have smoked like half of that. She wouldn't have had to go in cardiac arrest. Under her